Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to the Blue Water Draft. I'm Rue. I'm joined by Ed Fell, and we're here to get this thing up and going. How are we feeling on a wonderful Saturday night? Has your audio died or something? This could be interesting. This could be very interesting if we're having a couple of tech issues to start things off. Hope
I'm
things are
not
working out right, though.
hearing anything. Give me a sec.
Okay. Um, we'll try and get this working, of course, as we'll do the best we can. We are here for a matchup. I'll hopefully list through, I'm assuming everyone can at least hear me as we're going to run you through the two teams for today. So we have coming in, first of all, we have the Forest Giants, which we get to see be on our right hand side of game number one. On the blue side, on the left hand side, is going to be the TurnUp squad. These guys had a bit of a tumultuous start to Blue Water Draft. They've managed to get themselves through as a wild card on each other bracket. Both 2 and 3 in terms of overall series score. Not having the best of times, but still hanging on in there. As I hope we're all good now hearing things. Okay, we're taking a reset. That's unfortunate. We will try and keep things running. Unfortunately, we have these tech issues every now and again. But yeah, as I say, we have our players ready. Hopefully, we'll be able to get into draft in just a few. Forest Giants, we have Slinkies, we have Soul Reaver, we have Techio, we have Frisky MMO, and we have Wayne. And then on the other side of things, on TurnUp Squad, we have Hateem the Dream, we have Hug Life, we have Pineaholic, TurnUp Tom, and Revan Storm. Both these rosters, as I say, put in a reasonable
Okay, I'm
performance so
here.
far. Welcome back. I hope you can
Hey,
hear things
sorry
now.
about that. Yes, I can. I apologize, chat and everybody here. My dog knocked my thing out and I didn't know yet. So.
All good. Well, welcome back. Let's get going into things. We have the draft currently on our screens right in front of us, right in front of our very eyes. Echo, Morgana, and Mordekaiser banned away by the turn-up squad. Vi and Amumu taken away so far by the Forest. We're looking for that third ban. Heavy jungle prio.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, most of these games are probably going to be dictated by the jungles, right? The amount of pressure and tempo that they're able to give. But we are going to see an Ari ban and a Caitlyn first pick for the turnip squad. So look for that, safe, late game, a lot of damage from the ADC, but strong laner, able to bully, especially depending on who they put him with. But yeah, the jungles definitely seem to be the priority here between these two teams.
It's technically a Morgana jungle, not Morgana jungler, a Morgana support ban, maybe like a game 2 type of situation, because it seems like there's not much threat of the Morgana being taken away by Forest, but the turnip squad want to hold on to that one for as long as possible. That their support very into that one, as we're going to get the Xin Zhao Ashe pairing going into that R1 R2. Ashe, I think, finds Caitlyn, but Xin Zhao is going to be all right. You have the crossing guards try and survive those Caitlyn traps, but it's not really the most fun times, especially when you have that counter-pick jungle potential. If you go tanky too early, you could be ending in something like a Trundle, and then you're really struggling.
Yeah, and Ash does very well into Caitlyn in the lane, and then obviously Xin Xiao just like you said, like as long as they don't go too tanky too early, they should be fine. As the Jax is going to be picked up for the side of the turnip squad, I think more than likely the Jax jungle here. I mean, we potentially could see it top. It's still very strong up there. I don't know if there's a one trick here, or at least a mainer here, but the Mel is going to be the opposite. I love seeing this champion into champions like Ashe or Smolder, things like that, where it's just like the entire ultimate is just kind of screwed over by one of her abilities. It's just going to matter whether she can be piloted properly and the timing of said reflections. So interesting so far here from both of these teams.
That's not a champ Pineaholic plays a lot of either. It's a pretty out of left field shout out that Mel, but taking it on that B3. So we're going to get the Braum rather paired up with the Ashe to secure that bot side for the Forest Giants. They are very solid throughout the whole bot side jungle, but now that threat of Trundle really starting to ring through my ears. I have to say, I'm scared if that Jax ends up getting flexed top lane.
Yeah, and could see that Mel support more than likely not. Much stronger in the APC into the mid roll, but dangerous nonetheless. They do ban the Commerce, so they do feel like this is going to be a Mel mid for the side of the turnips. Yeah, Braum Ash, one of those, like, you get caught by one Q from Braum, and it could just be over at that point, at least for the most part. Caitlyn can at least snap trap away, have that ability to just kind of get away. But the Akali and the Alistar is actually going to be banned, so they really are all in. This is a Mel mid into them. So Forest Giants planning on trying to take away some of the stronger supports that'll be able to really defend and give a lot of agency to this Caitlyn in a bot lane.
A lot of the defensive ones, sure, taken away, but I think when you're playing with the Caitlyn, you can also look to be aggressive. Obviously, into the Braum is a kind of pinch of salt champion. You don't want to go too aggressive because he can deal with a lot of that, and in some cases deal it back as well. But got to be a little bit careful trying to ban away too passively perhaps here. I like the Karma, but Alistar never really felt like a threat here, as I love the idea of a Xerath into a Mel though. Just outrange it. Just don't even bother. Just play from beyond her screen and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and a lot of the pros of a Mel, especially with her W being, the fact that you can just reflect everything back. And Xerath is one of those champions where his Q doesn't really count. It kind of comes from the ground, I guess, the way it works. It's not actually a projectile.
W doesn't count either, realistically.
Yeah, or his ultimate, right? So you basically have three of his four. The only thing you have to worry about is the E. Saw this last night. A lot of baiting out the Mel W. So like really strong. Pick into this, the Xerath able to roam as well, right? So one thing that you can do against Mel is not only stay away from her, but shove the wave from afar and then roam with your ultimate and then just start hitting people in the bot lane. You're gonna have to Ashe Hour, the Braum Q, maybe even the ultimate, slow knockups, everything to lock them down, and then Xerath ulting, from the mid lane, able to just kind of add some of the pressure around the map. Is we're going to see the Nasus in the top lane. I love this. The Kled's going to be the answer, and it is going to be a Mel mid, Leona in the bot lane with this Caitlyn, so they are going to look to pressure, have some dog potential, and some overall strong team fighting from the side of Turnips.
Yeah, I think don't have an amazing team fight, as you're saying, right? It's a big question in my mind of when does that Nasus come joining? I feel like your 4v4 is great for the first kind of 25 minutes, but when you start getting those top laners involved, maybe it could turn the other way around if you're not careful. Nasus needs to be in the right place at the right time. Needs to be in the right place in the game as well, most importantly. Whereas the rest of you guys, I mean, they're just ready to go hammer and tongue the whole way through.
Yeah, and with the new quest line, in the top lane now able to take maybe a ghost flash, you do get the free teleport eventually. Obviously, the if you take teleport initially, you are going to get extra prio for your Q buildups and everything. So should be interesting matchup here. I do like Forest Giants, the fact that they are so global, right? You can have Kled come down through a lane and then just gank from the lane, and there's not really much you can do. He can come to the mid, go to the bot, and then get back up top. He's going to fight Nasus very well in the beginning. Eventually, Nasus will outscale, but it will be interesting. They do have a lot of global potential on the side. Even in Enchanted Crystal Arrow, from like how many times do we see that just coming straight from the Nexus into the mid lane and just oops, right? You don't see it coming. So I do like their ability to be like as global as they want. But yeah, the Turnips, I kind of like this, strict front to back or even a cancer push in the top lane would be nice. So both of these teams have different sort of objectives of how they want to play this game. It's going to be interesting just which one can pilot it better.
I think to bring it back to that front to back, right? When we're playing the 4v4s, I think TurnUp Squad are going to have an amazing time of things. If you're able to play the spacing well, keep the Caitlyn, keep the Mel alive, the Leona and Jack should have a great time doing precisely that. When the Nasus joins in, I'm not sure he gains too much for your team fight. Right, and my issue is that the Kled provides a whole lot more. Your Ashe is suddenly a lot more mobile, the Zinzao can get in and out a lot more, the Xerath still isn't even on the screen, and at that point you're then playing a Braum at close range into a Nasus who's also close range and then dies to concussive blows. It feels like it's not a fun time for the dog, but I mean, if he's got the split push threat, then maybe that's enough, right?
Yeah, but at that point, why aren't you just picking York? Or I know Trundle isn't seen in the top lane very much anymore, but I love that troll.
Jack's not but Trundle.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like you could pick somebody that is super strong into the split push, even like a Scion, right? Like somebody that can just cancer push and do the thing. But Nasus, I mean, into Ashe Braum is terrible, but if they can maybe find their way into the back, and you can cast the ultimate, get the W onto the Ashe, and then you can actually catch up to them. But yeah, that Braum is going to make it extremely difficult for them to get on top of this Ashe. And so, I guess we'll just have to see. But I guess we're going to take a quick break before we get into game one. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Draft League playoffs first round.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Welcome everyone back. We are now into game number 1 between the series of the TurnUp, squad, and the Forest Giants. Getting into things here. This is a best of 3. Make sure we get that out of the way nice and early. Best of 3, and this is a winner advance as well. Win, you go through. Lose, and you are gone. Massive elimination game in our wildcard bracket, as in celebration of the massive stakes, we get some cheers in the bot lane before the festivities really get started.
Who's the first to break the bad man? But who's the first to break the good the good vibes?
Ash,
right?
always.
You think Ash? Okay, let's see. Oh, it's no problem.
My heart is broken. There's no way.
We need yeah, seriously. We need like side bets.
that is criminal action from abroad. He's already stacked up 3 concussive blows. Make that all 4. Gets the aftershock proc as well, courtesy of his runes. A little bit surprised to see that. Usually go different things on the resolve tree, but still going to be tanking things up as the early pressure is still going against him in that bot lane. As Caitlyn Leona, as aggressive as it is, able to get that early push.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is kind of what we expect, right? I mean, outside of Braum actually hitting a couple of these, Wayne doing a very good job of actually landing these concussive blows, but they're, you know, they should be doing this, you know, up until about, like, what, level 3, 4, maybe even when a gank comes in, like, this bot lane should be pressured in, and Frisky's just going to have to be used to farming under turret or farming while getting pushed in. I would have liked to have seen the Xin Zhao maybe start on the bot side here and then clear up into the top, because I don't think that there's any way that they're going to have the prio for this first scuttle, and that could lead into, like, the first blood for the side of turnips, but I guess we'll see. Maybe they can get a good bounce for the timing. Here is the top lane, doing the top lane stuff here. You expect this out of the Kled early on.
Early game, Pleddington just chunking out the Nasus for half his HP. I mean, that is always like the age-old dilemma in the jungle, right? Do you go for that early bot prio for the crab? Do you go everything for the crab, or do you look and say, you know what, the other team's going too far forward, like the Nasus just did in the top lane, getting burnt down by the Kled to 0 HP, first blood going over to Slinkies. And if the bot lane's too far pushed up, then maybe you can get a free gang.
Yeah, and that is absolutely massive for this Kled. They did take Ignite over to Teleport. Nasus does have Teleport, is going with the Fleet, and instead of opting for the Doran Shield, goes for the Cloth Armor, does pick up a second one. He's going to have the, you know, the Thornmail, I'm blanking out, but yes. Yes, thank you. The Bramble Vest, like, pretty early on, so that's going to be big to stop, like, the Conqueror stacks from, like, overhealing this Kled too much, but that is massive for the Kled to kind of shut him down there, and as long as he can get out here and just stay ahead as far as the damage compared to the tankiness, I think he's going to do all right.
Yeah, not going Doran Shield there is insane, in my opinion. I think that is a very bold decision that has unfortunately backfired. Didn't survive the early trade. Ends up getting chunked down. Already had to use that Ghost as well, as Xin Zhao has made his way down to the bot side here. Soul Reaver looking to fight after he somehow managed to get that bot crab as well. After all that talk with the bot prio, it looks like things somehow turned around. He's still sticking around, no base yet on the Xin Zhao. The top camps are respawning. Jack's going to go for an invade here if he sticks around too much longer. And maybe even just look for the final mid hill. Nice flash away from Counter-Strike. And that's going to get Takeo out to safety.
Yeah, and I think he's probably going to have to help push this. Yeah, Jax ended up clearing and then just, like, shoving off over to, wanted to get that top side. I think maybe he's a little worried about this Kled getting a little bit too far ahead, and then wanted to either gank him or what ended up turning into a mid lane gank. So the Jax did kind of have it, and they did sort of do a very good job on this bot lane for the Forest Giants of managing that wave. Here is a bit of back and forth here. Caitlyn, yeah, Caitlyn Leona winning this as they kind of should. So. I do like the amount of vision that the Forest Giants have put into the turnip side here. If you look at this red side, there is nowhere in there that Jax can go without being seen as another semi-all-in from this Kled.
I mean, it's an all-in and the Nasus can't escape, right? And he's only level 5, still waiting on the ultimate. So we're going to go back down to bot instead, because that appears to be where much more of the action is. Psych, screw that. Nasus is dead once more. Should be able to at least get that Brown Vest this time around. But another big kill. This time did cost a flash out of Slinkies, but I'm sure he's going to say worth in all chat for that one. So he picked up the second of the game as we head into that first rate timer. Bot pro heavily in this Caitlyn Leona's favour, as you said before. But when your top side is already 0-2 down, it doesn't feel as great.
Yeah, and Caitlin's already had a chance to go back and get a pull. Maybe that's what they were trying to do.
Nice Q. Puts the wall up as well on the Braum, as there's going to be the dive to go 1-for-1 overall. Not even the assist over to the Ashe this time around. Somehow, Frisky MMO not even landing a single auto attack on that Leona as they dive the turret. Unfortunate in that regard, but still, a 1-for-1 could be a whole lot worse, but the way dying makes the play definitely a whole lot better for the TurnUp squad. As the only issue is now, TurnUp Tom has his base very long delayed, and let's see if that costs this support from his definitely flash counter strike forward, and very dead. No way. He's actually escaped that. Okay, fair enough. My bad. Wayne escapes on about 3 HP, able to get out with the use of his flash, and that is a free pick in the jungle.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is, and that's extremely unfortunate. If you're playing on a Jax, you're like, oh, I got this guy, and then all of a sudden you get what we were talking about during the draft was the Xerath being able to roam from the mid and just kind of stay there, and then Xin Zhao just bad timing and no real vision of this Xin Zhao to be able to see like where he's at and if he's coming there. As we do have the Bramble Vest completed on this Nasus, hopefully he gets a little bit of help so he can deal with this, because it doesn't seem like any of this is going to go his way without some gank help here. Kled, I think it's just going to keep going in. Yeah.
Pulls him back as well. Level 6s have been reached on both sides, but still XP advantage definitely in Slinky's favor as he keeps pushing this advantage. He's trying to do his absolute best in this top side, but he's just struggling. Half HP once more as he gets chunked out, and Kled still has his bicycle, which is about to run out. Finally hops off, but doesn't take much to get back on again, as it could be the Hug Life gank to save the day in the top lane. We'll see if that's going to be enough. He's already back halfway back to the bicycle, very close to the remote, just about gets it in time, but he's instantly taken back off, and the dismount is his disregard for life. This Hug Life is going to claim the first kill for himself. Nice gank on the top side, and getting that early shutdown out of the way as well.
Yeah, that's so important to get him here, but we are going to see a...
Ooh, and Charles Crystal goes wide. Massive side step there for TurnUp Tom, as both cleanses are in the bot lane. Didn't even notice that earlier on. One already used though from the Ashe, courtesy of a previous play. Meant that and Charles Crystal basically had to land, otherwise that play was just going to be called off. It goes wide, and not even the cleanse used now by TurnUp Tom. He's absolutely chilling in this bot lane.
Yeah, but Soul Reaver is not content to just kind of sit here. If we look in the minimap on the mid side here, it does look like there's going to be a gank onto
this is huge.
The Mel.
This is a huge angle. Wind becomes lightning, hop over the wall. Still has that 3-point strike as well, going to get knock up, but nothing extra courtesy of it. Gets the flash at the very least, but no kill threat realistically employed there. Just going to be disengaged once more, as these flash times are mid. Very interesting to track. Just as one goes down, another one comes back up. Tekio about to get that respawn of his own flash. I mean, massive turnaround in the mid play.
Yeah, and he's just kind of controlled, dominating this lane. Already has one assist that Soul Flare is going to miss, but...
Zenith Blade doesn't though, so we're going to get Gust Blows landing once more. As a Glacial Fissure as well, used by Wayne to get himself the hell out of town. Unfortunately, we can't say the same for Frisky, who's going to have that Caitlyn Ace and Holt tanked up very nicely by a very muscular man in the bot lane. Just about surviving both of them, about 100 HP, but they are surviving. And without dying, it's honestly been about the best they can do right now. Is we're going to head back up to the top side because Soul Reaver is contesting these drugs. I believe he's already managed to take one for himself. Actually, got one apiece already early on, as Ashe just barely getting out of town in time. That was playing right on the edge. We're going to go back up the top side on these grubs, because apparently everyone loves flipping the game over a single grub. Nice one comes lightning onto the Mel here, as looks like Pine and Alcoholic in a lot of danger. Not as much danger perhaps Slinky's was himself. 1-for-1 to start this one off, as it's mid for top. Carry on this play, but Soul Reaver has now been completely abandoned, and Xerath opens his ulti a little bit too late. And Charles Crystal is going to land though, and that will claim the kill. So 2 for 2 overall, both junglers taken out, and still a grub left in the pit.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful Enchanted Crystal Hour. So many times when we're watching these, we see them go wide left, wide right. That one was right on the money. Great job keeping the Jax where you wanted that from Soul Reaver. So, I mean, that great communication from the side of Forest Giants. They get the 2 grubs that they want. Looks like they're more than likely going to lose the 3rd one to this Nasus. Does look like he's going to take it. But, yeah, that Ashe on the bot side was so lucky that Zenith Blade wasn't a quarter of a second quicker there. But overall, I think if you are the TurnUp squad, I think you take that trade, right? Like, you do end up losing 2 of the grubs. You get 1 in return, but it does show now that like Nasus getting a kill and then 2 onto your Jax is pretty huge.
Yeah, and I think somehow they managed to get first and last as well on the grubs. So they may have even got 2 out of those 3, which puts it in an even better position for them overall. But that objective has fallen out of favour in recent weeks and months. Still very useful, especially when you have something like a Nasus, right?
Oh yeah, I mean if you can get all 3 with the Nasus, that's like almost turning him into a Yorick. But yeah, as we see,
I don't mind it the other way around. I'm just gonna say if you get all 3 taken against you as an Nasus, that's 3 stacks.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I mean, something that you could do, a little micro game under. It's like an Easter egg, you know. But he's kind of getting to this point now. He does have the Sheen. It does look like he's going for Frozen Mallet, which I like on this. It's going to be a lot of extra just almost passive CC that you're going to be able to pop off here.
Oh my god, Flash all forward from the Braum as the Enchanted Crystal is taking a land on to TurnUp Tom instead of the owner that everyone's raiding into. Revenstorm, as such, able to flash away to safety, but Cleanse and Flash used for just the flash of the Braum on bot side, and the 2-for-1 summon a trade, and the Zin's out again, showing on bot side, and again, unable to have a real impact.
Right, and Jax is going to keep going to this top side. I love when junglers are just making cross-map plays left and right, and we're seeing that here.
This would tend to be a cross-map play, as is Sneaky's trying to get back onto his bicycle once more, just barely remounting in time. Actually, this play, I think, is going to get turned around. They're diving under the turret with no minions there to protect, and the Xerath again roaming up from the mid lane, this time going even further than just saying he has an ultimate. Gets withered for his Sins, though, unfortunately for him, as we're going back down to bot lane, because that's a beautiful Q landing there from TurnUp Tom. Frisky MO, incredibly low himself, just 300 HP on both these guys, but Zin's out again in the area, and the flash away is nice from the Braum to try and keep him out to safety, but it's TurnUp Tom who's barely out of range of both of them. A single auto would have got a kill, 2 would have probably got both, but unfortunately he gets neither, and instead it's Soul Reaver just in time once more. I believe he even peeled off the Drake to run down to his bot side in time, gets it done, gets the kill, now he can turn his attention back to his scaly friend.
Yeah, I don't like this call for this. I think that Tekio needs to get back to this mid lane as soon as possible. I do not like the Kled into the Mel. I don't think it's going to work out very well for him.
It does look like it's suffering.
Yeah, and at the same time, Zinshao, Soul Reaver off of that bot play, trying to turn this into a free dragon, gonna try to make it a 50-50 here as both of these teams, yeah, it did reset. Both of these teams looking to try to pressure and, you know, just get the presence and the prio here is the
Enchanted Crystal out again, this time goes wide, unfortunately for Frisky MO. The fight's going to start at once more, Counter-Strike going to force snap side from the Braum. As instead, Soul Reaver the one that's going to be the one on the engage. Nice Solar Flare, going to get the cleanse out of the Ash, and going to go back into the Mel, humongous amount of damage. That thing can deliver the execute as well, quite nice, and then Caitlyn caught right on the far side of the screen. TurnUp Tom completely abandoned by his teammates, mispositioned perhaps, as the only just goes sending it back in, realizing death is imminent, forcing the Jack to commit as well with the counter strike, and unfortunately that is going to be his demise. Tekio gets 2, as it's going to be Frisky MO picking up the 3rd. Pinaholic though, still alive on the Mel, still alive with the execute on the Mel, already got 1, and can look to turn things back over the flash Q forwards. Pinaholic going nuclear to try and even out that fight. Now play the game of dodge, and unfortunately his footwork is not fancy enough. It's going to be a 4 for 3 in the bot lane. Yeah, he's kind of just pressed up against the environment there, and I really like that from Tekio on the backside. But hey, if you're Pinaholic, that is amazing for you, because you just got two kills on the back end of that. You finally get your Blackfire Torch completed. That is a lot of gold sitting in your pocket, and if you are Forest Giants or Turnip Squad here, you have to be careful, right? Like, you cannot Counter-Strike hop in on the Jax when the Ashe is not one of the targets, and we're starting to see that here. A little bit of miscommunication from the side of Turnip Tom. You called it early on when Turnip Tom was going in here, as we're it did look like they were just kind of like... been dismounted, but I think he'll be fine. Gets the ultimate out of the Nasus at the very least, and could look to remount as well. He's actually one with kill pressure here, believe it or not. Claire just that kind of champion, very close to the Ignite as well, and her team, the Dream, has to be very careful on the top side. We look back down to spot as well. Frisky again, filming his sight, catching those waves on the tower. Yeah, Turnip Top doing a great job in this lane, but during these two team fights, just kind of we're fighting again. It feels like it is just a matter of time at this point. It's so clever you could delete Frisky MO from the Rift. Unfortunately, this will be a 2-for-1 overall, but at least there's a 1 in there for the TurnUp squad. And it goes over to TurnUp Tom as well, I do believe. Second kill for him in the game on this Caitlyn, getting himself pretty strong. IE first is a bit of an outlandish proposition. Revenstorm will eventually die to Sin's outfighted by Soul Reaver. It's a little bit frisky overall, just about able to pull through in that trade, but I mean, this mid jungle right now is absolutely flying for the Forest Giants. Yeah, they're doing really well. I mean, these two are basically carrying the game right now. Yes, Magi's.
Yeah, with 10 stacks, by the way. So now I think this is just kind of the play. Like, they are going to go after this Nasus. You can see it here. He's going to ult, Kled's going to ult, and it's going to be more than likely a dead ult.
Yeah, not the type of thing you'd like to see typically on the Rift, as that was also quite not what you would want to see on the Rift, as unfortunately Tekio unable to connect on most of the right of the arcane there instead. It's going to be a team the Dream surviving, but forced to take the base, as the TP instead comes through from Tekio to try and contest this Ocean Drake. Second Drake in the game, not even the soul up for the bait just yet, but still Hoglife going to commit in, going to get the snipe away on the Dragon as well. Going to be jungler exchange for jungler eventually, right? Surely the Jack dies finally. Down he goes. Down side from not going to keep him out to safety. It's going to be 2 for 1. Xenoplay goes forward, looking to turn it around even more in the TurnUp squad's favor. 3 kills with just 1 lost player in Hoglife, and now Tekio on the retreat as well. No flash, and the Leona's already got his escape path in his sights as well. Still, very 1v3able, surprisingly so for Azerath at this phase of the game. That second item of the Magi is proving incredibly powerful. He's going to be able to use that extra move speed to escape pretty safely. He could even look for a kill if Reverend Storm gives it to him. That was way too close.
Yeah, it was a good job by him. I actually thought he was dead to rights there, but made a very good decision to head towards the red side of Turnips instead of over to his own side. Caught up by all 3 of those members, but still able to get out of there. Good fight though for the side of Turnips overall. They do end up getting the 2 for 3 there, or 1 for 3, and they get the dragon, right? So they get what they want, what they came for. The good smite battle. At least Hoglife can at least flex on that for a little bit. And if it gets into the head of Soul Reaver, like every 50-50 can end up going the way of Turnips. And we see it all the time where you miss one and next thing you know, you're just missing all the others. It gets into your head as a jungler. So that potentially could happen as we're about to have another fight over here on the Rift.
It is difficult when the guy on the other side has a very powerful auto-attack reset, as something like Jax does do, as we're going to get in chance to push that roll into the pit. Instead, TurnUp Tom maybe one caught out in mid, as the third Q going to land. He is all alone, contesting for mid prior when the rest of his team is on the Rift Herald. You heard me correctly, and Hakeem the Dream is also dead in 1 versus 1 against Kled. Not a great place for him to be, as Shrinky's happily going to take that one there. 2 kills for free. They do, I believe, lose the Rift Herald at the end of the day. But I think you have to take that if you're the Forest Giants. You're getting so much stronger in that mid-jungle still. And I'm going to need an explanation for why Caitlyn is all alone contesting mid-fry when you're taking Rift Herald.
Yeah, that wasn't the best decision. You also had Mel on the bot side, so like, I don't know, do you just sneak it and then you just kind of like hope for the best? You end up losing your Nasus as well. Kled getting pretty hefty here as we see the Titanic is finished on him. He has the claw fields, looking like he's going to go for a little bit more. Maybe
I'm
just
trying to work out
try
who
to force
the split push threat is at this point, because I thought the Nasus was meant to be the split push threat, but apparently Slinky's doing it all by himself, avoiding the Xenoblade, still going to get stunned up with that chest bump courtesy of the shield. TurnUp Tom, maybe the one that's going to be turned on to here. The Slinky's 1 versus 4, rooted up by the Melty, shut down by Pineholic, as he puts himself up to a 4th kill as well. These both mid lanes, to be fair, incredibly strong, as Tekio is also pushing down that bot turret by himself. Slinky's just a little bit too far from the side lane.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you're a Kled. You think that you have the reset, potentially. But you ended up exhausting a teleport for that, too, as the Xenoblade.
Are we doing this again? Can I have a little bit of time to breathe? Just like a second is all I ask. Because Reverend Storm is again going to go sending it. Nice solar flare to get the double stun. Frisky Ammo is going to respect that with a cleanse. Oh, these guys just love fighting.
They do. Now, yeah, the pressure on this bot side, I mean, this should be... Yeah, free and then get out of there. You do have more. You do have the Braum coming down too. It looks like they're gonna try to pressure this as much as they can. Now, Slinkies might end up getting caught out here again. They are going to lose this top tier 1. I don't know if they're gonna try to ride it into the mid lane for some style points. Everybody's gonna miss.
Sorry, you said something about style points.
Yeah.
Lucky for him, he is close enough where it still gets the charge. That charge because I was very close. They're looking to make the play on the turnaround here, but Tekio is a little bit too far away to really get into perfect range. They can just walk away from this one and be very, very safe. The volley as well going to go just wide. Frisky looking to play the frontline Ashe angle. A risky proposition at the best of times. The Glacial Fisher with the flash forward is going to get onto Hakeem. He is going to be caught out. He will eventually be taken down. It's going to be Frisky Ammo who gets that kill. As, I mean, top tier 1 for a Nasus, when you're also getting mid tier 1, I think, honestly, you're taking that as total squad. Massive commit to the top side right now, and I'm not sure it's worth it if I'm talking to Forest Giant.
No, well, maybe, it depends. Ooh.
Oh, wait, it might be worth it if you can kill the Caitlyn in mid. That's a very good point. And Soul Reaver's already forced the flash and the cleanse from this poor Caitlyn. We're going to get the Q over the wall courtesy of Tekio as well. Managed to dodge this time. Instead, the W with an Arcane Comet going to secure in case Soul Reaver didn't have one more auto attack. And again, TurnUp Tom caught out of mid-wave.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, it depends on what you can get on the back end of this, right? Like, we can get a little bit more than just the Nasus, because I thought that, like, they expended way too much on that. I like the fact that they have confidence in their ability to hit these skill shots, like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, because you saw as soon as that was about to hit, you see the Xerath open up with his ultimate as well, so they figured it was going to hit. I like the fact that they have confidence in their calls and they're going for it, but then you're, once again, you know, able to catch out that shouldn't have happened, right? Like, so... You know, you were right in the sense of, like, I don't know if that's worth it. It probably wasn't, but TurnUp Tom just completely just lost in where they need to be during this game. They never seem to be, like, on the same page as the rest of their team. So a little bit of, you know, clean up on that end, and I think that they're going to be just fine. Just have to, you know, like you said, just clean it up a little bit, especially the Caitlyn positioning, because when they are in the right position, they're doing a great job overall.
Oh, and we're going to get another play back onto mid because that is Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It's connected this time. TQ goes gold, the godlike, makes him 20 now stacks on the Magi. 7, 0, and 5. A humongous Xerath presence in this one. I mean, that'll narrow find it a little bit harder to blame him. He had the Leona right next to him. He thought he was going to be safe walking up, but most summoners, if you get hit by that Ash Arrow, you are all sorts of dead.
Yeah, and especially when your cleanse is down, your flash is down. You know, you really don't have anything. You do have your net, you know, that you would be able to use, but along with the problem too, like, he didn't even have to use his ultimate, so Glitchfish are still up for them, and you know, could end up using that to turn it around.
Loud. Carry on. I was not sure that would be a legal Raptor state, but it looks like Hugley is able to escape, and he's going to be out of town in just enough time as Team the Dream may be looking for an illegal Tekio push, but because he has no CC, it's just going to be the free TP away out to safety of his tier 2.
Yeah, very unfortunate that you have to burn your TP there, but good heads-up play by them to make that happen. There's nobody, there was nobody anywhere near to kind of stop that from happening. So good job from the Xerath to just basically force an ult out of the Nasus, and you know, all it costs you is the TP, but you don't lose any Magi stacks, and that's, you know, those are the kind of plays that you're going to have to make now, and you're going to have to be absolutely sure that you're not screwing yourself over when you're in these positions here.
Yeah, and speaking of screwing stuff over, I mean, Revan just got screwed over by the Thorn. Wayne hitting the Baron with a Q over the wall makes him down to about a third of his normal HP. As the right, the arcade as well is massive onto TurnUp Tom, getting chunked out from 3 screens away as Red and Storm has been just below stacked up. He's going to just go sending it forward, trying to delay this one as long as possible. But with Pineaholic also falling on the top side, using his flash too, this feels like a Baron that is waiting to be taken now. Only question is, can Huglife potentially get in there and steal it? This feels like it has gone from a very playable position to a very bad position in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's just the globalization or the global presence of all of these champions, right? And we talked about it in the draft earlier. Are they going to be able to deal with this as they're doing everything
he is dipping, dodging, and diving. Nice flash forced away there by Huglife. This will eventually cost him his life, I'm pretty certain. Customo stacked up. He's going to fall as the Baron also goes down, as you say, 25 stacks onto Tekio. Even before that kill, he had the 25 stacks. The flash away, able to secure the. They keep on going as he's gonna go towards that Void Staff 3rd/4th. This guy is so incredibly strong right now. How do you even stop the Xerath? How do you get close to the Xerath?
I think you just have to have either your Leona or your Jax hover around the Nasus and then send the Nasus to whatever lane he's at. Because Tekio has been going to the side lane. He has been making himself available for hits or ganks. But, you know, the TurnUp squad just haven't really been able to do anything with that or about it. So I think at that point you're going to have to find him out. But, oh, goodness.
We're doing it again. He's very close to getting another kill on TurnUp Tom, who was the most most fed member of his team. Not that he'd notice it from how much he's getting absolutely dunked on right now by the Sarah. Nothing he can really do. Unfortunately, he is just in that kind of predicament, as it's going to be the smite away from Huglife, making sure he claims his own red buff. Sneaky's in the top side as well, going to Baron up his minions, make it even harder for a team to have any side lane pressure. The early Baron take, not going to have the most impact that you'd like to see, right? Those tier 1s already taken, the tier 2s pretty difficult to get down, especially if you're trying to play something like a 1-3-1, but still, overall, a very nice position for the Forest Giants to find themselves in.
Yeah, it is, and they're primed to take this next dragon as well. That's coming up in 45 seconds. They might even get a pick here. Before that, as you see them collapsing on a Pinaholic here.
Looking for it. We'll see if Soul Reaver can be the one to make this one happen. If he does get rooted up, he still has the Wing Pass Lightning to go, sending it even further forward. All three Qs connect, and that is a guaranteed knock-up and a guaranteed kill. Hug Life barely able to escape the hitbox of that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, as well as Slinky's looking to 1v3 onto Tom. And, I mean, it might be a 1v3, maybe get a 1v4, but if he can get the kill, I'm calling work. If he doesn't get the kill, then maybe not, but it looks like Soul Reaver's there to do that job anyway. Pops the Crescent Guard, but unfortunately Ordinary inside the circle, he still takes some damage. Integration Fissure going to try and peel him back away. Still ends up getting down incredibly low, but if he doesn't fall, then I am going to be all sorts of shocked. I'm all sorts of shook, and I'm all sorts of in awe of what I have just witnessed. Soul Reaver running from bot to mid and just absolutely destroying right now. 8-3 and 7 for him, 10-0 and 9 for his mid lane, and Frisky now getting further off the board with that triple kill courtesy of a massive all-in with a numbers advantage. The Mel only just respawned from all of that, and the Drake's still waiting as a prize.
Yeah, and this ultimate is up from Xerath, but he's just about. That's rough. And at this point, this is officially Forest Giants' game to lose. I think that this would be an extremely massive throw if they did. They're just all in control of this, and like you said, they just catch somebody out, and then they just pull the trigger on the Caitlyn, right? And Tinker Tom or TurnUp Tom just always seems to be who they're going after and who they end up catching out. And so this plan is working out great for them. They're basically letting Pinaholic be by themselves and not really part of any fight, and they just go after the Caitlyn. And then by the time that the biggest damage dealer, which is potentially this Caitlyn, is gone, they can basically win every fight. There's not much kill potential for the side of TurnUp. It's hard for Nasus to get on top of Ashe. It's hard for you can reflect heal. No, you can't. It didn't do any damage. It looks like it reflects. I
think you can avoid, like, he has that shield now, right? It doesn't have the same mitigation that it once did, where you just go completely invulnerable. Instead, you get to ignore a certain amount of damage to scale as you increase the ability, but they're able to survive that time around at the very least. The Slinky's nice leash, I guess, over towards the Jax. Hug Life going to take that one happily as he smites away a free crab that Slinky's was trying to get rid of. Not going to be the biggest deal of the world, though. Soul Reaver has to take his own red buff as prize. Move on to his Raptors. Doing okay on farm. Honestly, a little bit lower than maybe I'd expect from Zinzal that's this fed.
Yeah, and this might actually be a dead... Oh, never mind. I'll be surprised if Forest Giants don't just pull the trigger here really soon. It looks like...
I mean, they very well could. Hakeem the Dream is very far forward right now. It's hiding out in the barrel pit. The rest of his team not even close. Screens away from able to help, but he's going to run towards his old tier 1 turret. Fortunately for him, that doesn't exist anymore. Fortunately for him, there's no more chase, and instead, mid-prio going to be contested. Still a minute away from that Baron. It's going to be Forest Giants again, just claiming map control for now. So they're also going to send in Enchanted Crystal Arrow down, I guess, for the aura of, I mean, the cleanse is quite a nice bonus too.
Oh, yeah, and this is just going to happen every time, right? They just throw the arrow and then hit the ulti, but they are going to get pincered here. It does look like they're... Turnips do have a good flank angle from the Jax.
I'm not sure they win if they even commit on this one, though. That's what I'm scared of. They can try, but with double control in the bush, Soul Reaver realizes he's walked into the wrong part of town. Gonna get stunned up early on there by the Solar Flare, but as I said, just doesn't feel like they have the firepower right now. And even when you manage to somehow land a Xenoblade onto Tekio, it feels like if he's able to disengage once more, he should be able to turn the fight back around in his favor. He's going to do precisely that, as it's going to be the Jax effectively 1v3 in this topside fight against both carries, and the Braum gets the Braum out of the way, but unfortunately for him, that is nowhere near enough, and Slinky's is just absolutely demolishing under this tier 3 turret. Pinaholic, unfortunately, has no resistance. That is going to be the ace. That is going to be likely the game also falling by the wayside as Forest Giants look to take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and as tanky as you usually feel like Nasus is, he just doesn't have any health items here, right? Like, you have the Frozen Gauntlet, the Spirit Visage, yes, but just all those resistances and no health to really block enough damage. And yeah, just the side especially, Tekio on the Xerath get just way too far ahead. He's gonna try to pad the stats here, but yeah, good game. Very quick stomping from the side of Forest Giants here, and it just kind of went the way that you the way that you draw it up, right? You see the Mel pick, you're like, okay, give me Xerath like right away. I think that we're going to start seeing Xerath bans when the team wants to play Mel, right? So great job by them. Huge communication gap, it seemed, especially because no matter how well TurnUp Tom played in the lane, it just seemed like they were never on the same page with the rest of their team, whereas Forest Giants just seemed to like move as one, and then Ash and Xerath were on the same page. Hey, I got the Caitlyn. All right, arrow it. I'll just pop up, and then we just kind of kill them real quick, or at least get them to the point where they have to blow the QSS and blow the cleanse. So good, nice, team win for the side of Forest Giants early on.
Yeah, and that puts them 1 game away now from making it through to the upper brackets of the playoffs. Remember, you win this one, you get the honor of going up against a 1 seed. Congratulations, you made it through. Now you get to face a 1 seed from the early league play. You lose this one though, it's much worse. You're just out. So I think that there's probably the lesser of two evils. You managed to get through, and then even then, right? Worst case scenario, if you lose next week, you get to go into the lower bracket, and you can definitely make a run out of things. Massive game for the Forest Knights. They put themselves, to say, 1 game away from that potential eventuality. TurnUp now have to win both in a row. Let's see if they can do precisely that after this break. Okay, welcome back. Sorry we've missed most of the draft, but unfortunately we had a little bug, as is one thing to happen, right? First time around we had tech issues. Second round we have tech issues, right? That's what happens. We get the draft lead, we get tech issues. That is what it is. But we're ready to get into things as we have our bands, of course, from game 1 taken out by Fearless. We got games from game 2 looking pretty similar, though I would guess based off those bands that the teams have swapped around.
No, actually,
those are Forest Giants bands in game 1.
Yeah, so yeah, potentially maybe they swapped around.
I think they have.
I mean, they do still have TurnUp heroes on the blue side, so who knows? But
honestly,
yeah.
who's got a clue? Their bands have like perfectly swapped from game 1. That's all I know.
Yeah. So.
I guess that's not all we know, right? We know as well what we got going on below us. We got the Yanara, the Volibear, and the Akali taken by whichever team is on the blue side. Whoever we trust to be on the blue side at this point. Aphelios, Zac, and Galio taken by red, as I think we are getting an official swap around. There we go. That makes more sense. Based off those bands, it was...
Yeah.
Based off those bands, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and this is interesting here. Like, the Aphelios, especially, into a Yanara, I kind of feel like has a huge advantage here, because you're able to kind of pick your fights whenever you want them. There's a couple different combinations, especially we all know the red and white ready to fight. But there's other combinations that really kind of screw Yanara over as well. Anytime you get the blue-purple, and just the amount of range and what he's going to be able to do, I kind of feel like TurnUp Squad having the better ADC here. The difference is late game when you start chasing down, Yanara is really going to be able to do a lot of just AoE damage, sustain, keeping it in there, where Aphelios is kind of going to be like that, knock them out as soon as they can, as we're going to get the bans are going to keep the way that they are. We see the Poppy ban instead. I forgot who was banned the first time around from TurnUp, so they banned the Poppy. It looked like maybe they wanted the Rakan, so it's going to be the Karma Rakan getting banned for the side of Forest Giants here. As the Nautilus is going to come in to help support this Yunara.
Yeah, first rotation exactly the same as game 1, but of course sides had swapped around. Second rotation completely different. As we're getting into, no one... I'm surprised Lulu managed to fall into the second rotation of bans entirely. I think both these ADCs absolutely love playing with the Lulu, but instead it's going to be TurnUp Squad delaying their support picks so that they can get whatever they want into this North. So that will be the Alistair taken as that R5 counter, giving up counter in top, and potentially having that now rough matchup into a Yorick to try and get something going in bot lane. But as I said, I'm shocked that Lulu wasn't taken R2, B2, B3, R3. Like no one fancied it.
Yeah, and like you said, both of these ADCs, especially Yunara, benefit from having a Lulu, just somebody that can, keep them safe. But it looks like they're going to go for the engage here, and it kind of seems like Forest Giants is looking like they're trying to do what TurnUp did game 1, where they want the strong 4v4 and then the Yorick presence up top, and then Yorick just is able to do so much. He could solo things by objectives by himself. He can send the maiden up top and then join the team fight. So there's a lot of things that he can do that are just really annoying. The cancer push itself is as well. And I think even into the Zahin, like, he actually has a very strong potential to get fed, get carry, and then like carry the rest of his team here, because at some point TurnUps are going to have to send 2, maybe even 3 members to deal with him if he gets ahead, and the rest of their team, like the strong team fight outside of maybe the Akali into the Galio, does kind of seem like it heavily favors the Forest Giants.
Yeah, I feel like Forest Giants, they've managed to work themselves into an amazing position with this one. I think bot lane we can debate, right, whether who's going to have early prior. I think it's definitely up in the air, but with Nautilus into Alistair, it really could go either way. Level 1 should be going Yunara Nautilus way, but beyond that, anything can happen, right? It's going to be Armageddon, I expect, down there. We should see Zac slingshotting his way forward, Volibear going nuts.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to see a lot of action out of TurnUp towards their bot side this time, because we did see that when they were like in lane, they were stomping, right? Like the Forest Giants were just not just pressed up against their turret, they were getting dove, and they were dying, and the only thing that was saving them was Xin Zhao coming in and making the plays to turn them around. So I fully expect to see the Zac bot lane a lot, and I always love a Galio pick, especially in the comps like this, where you're gonna have the Zac able to jump in, or the Alistar jump in, the Galio follow-ups. You're going to have automatic knock-up, everything going your way. And then it also leads into the overextension potential from these players, where the Volibear can ult in, jump in, thinking that he's got this Aphelios unlocked. You get the Galio to jump in, from nowhere and just kind of save the day. So I really do like TurnUp's draft. I think that they kind of went for something akin to what the Forest Giants did the first game. And it seems like not just the sides, but the roles of everybody was kind of flipped around in this game.
Yeah, I had to say that TurnUp's disengage, as well as their normal engage, is kind of filthy this game, right? You got Zac has amazing peel potential, as well as, of course, the ability to go in. Alistar the exact same. Galio maybe a little bit less. He can follow, but he can't be the one to really turn on that snap. But then again, he still has a flash W in the worst case scenario. I feel like everyone on TurnUp has amazing peel potential. And my real question here is the Forest Giants, what does this Akali actually do? There is one potential target, and good luck to you getting onto him.
Well, if Tekio gets fed, then she's just gonna roll over the entire team. I mean, that's a possibility. I guess we'll see, right? And I don't think that Pineaholic played a bad game last game. I think that it was just kind of like a comp diff for them, so I'm excited to see how this matchup goes. Akali struggles into Galio for obvious reasons, and this is going to be Pineaholic's time to shine on this Galio and show that Tekio's not just going to roll over this, but you have a lot of push, a lot of roam potential, and a lot of kill potential. If Nautilus and Volibear can stand in front of you and lock down targets for you, then that's what Akali's going to do. But I do believe that Pineaholic on this Galio is going to have way more agency in this game and able to save, buff, engage, disengage for his team a lot better. So it's just going to be like a skills and fingers issue for this Akali. And if it's anything like game one, Tekio can do it. I'm interested to see how the rest of the team plays around now that you don't have like a super roam global omnipresence from their mid lane.
Yeah, and I think, let's go back to that point. I think Tekio, he's shown that he has the ability to do it when he has the space and when he has the time. Playing something like Xerath, you're not really put under that much pressure. This time, if he's going to get anything done this game, he has all the pressure on him, right? Because that Aphelios is the only target that you think typically in a fight, A, you need to kill, and B, you probably can kill. Everyone else, come that kind of 25-minute mark where the TurnUp squad really starts getting online, I mean, it feels like that Akali just has no other use apart from to try and execute the enemy ADC. We'll see what they can do, though, as Forest Giants have, of course, got that game advantage. Should they end up losing this, we'll head to that game number 3, where it'll be an all-important decider for these two teams. TurnUp squad looking to take us there. We'll see if they can after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the series between the Forest Giants and TurnUp squad. We are just getting into game number 2. Forest Giants with that first game lead. They're going to look to see if they can expand upon that, get it to a 2, get out of here nice and quick, or if we're going to be headed over to a game number 3. We had a couple of seconds to digest these two drafts. I think consensus being reached by both of us that we kind of favor the red side here.
Oh, absolutely. I think just draft-wise, if you're not counting how potentially they might feel, just after losing that hard, maybe the mental state might be a little boomed. But yeah, the draft-wise, I like TurnUps a lot better. I do think they lack like maybe an AP, like a mage, like control mage kind of deal. But between the Zach Galio, I think they're gonna have enough sustained, tanky damage or just innate damage. Whereas on the side of Forest Giants, if Tekio doesn't get rolling, I think we were both kind of talking like, it just doesn't make sense, the Akali into this. You have 3 tanks, it's going to be super hard to kill, especially if Zahin can get their blood pool stacked up. So it's going to be a tall task on Tekio to really be useful this game, outside of maybe roaming and creating 2v3s or 1v2s. It's going to be really hard for them, whereas TurnUp, they have a very easy path to victory. Play front to back, get around objectives, and squad up and don't let Yorick get ahead.
Yeah, don't let the Yorick get too far going, because he will be a pain, especially in that side lane. But if there's anyone that can deal with the pain in side lane, it's a Team of the Dream and playing on that Zahin as well. Does have a bunch of rats flying at him to start off with, though, as the lane phase continues, and he starts to struggle just that little bit more. I do wonder, based off of what we're seeing early on, phase rushing a Doran's ring instead of a Doran's shield. Is Peanaholic thinking a potential more AP angle than maybe you would expect?
You get a bigger shield out of it, right? Into this. Ooh.
I mean, this also works. If pressing E forward, getting the knock up, and taunting up, massive damage onto Tekio, down to 200 HP. Good trade from the Galio as it goes into the Shroud instead, and Tekio just going to hit the 5-point strike. Try and do his absolute best. The team has been fighting off rats all day and night.
Yeah, I do think that maybe they're thinking, hey, we'll get the Leandries on the Zac potentially, or they just go straight bombies. But we have been seeing the Leandries a little bit, but right up in the top lane.
I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if we saw a certain Protobelt, as we just saw a certain death. Slinky's, with honestly, like, not even any style points. He just kind of pressed Ignite and watched her team die to rats.
Yep.
It was not fun. Her team did not enjoy that one, and unfortunately he just has to take the death. He's going to go TPing very aggressively. Against Slinky's no TP, so he has to kind of respect this one with how low on HP and mana he is. He's going to back out just in time and again. Her team, no flash. This time on the Zahin, a little bit more surprising than maybe the Nasus.
Yeah, especially into a Yorick, and like you said, your Zahin, you can jump, right? Like you can dash away, you can get out of the little baby cage, but unfortunately for him, I guess he had already used it. Slinky's, I think, has been outperforming or outfighting from game 1, and they're just continuing as game 2 as Tekio. This is a cannon minion there, nobody saw it, homie. You're good. But yeah, they just good overall play, but it also feels like, did I just screw myself over by killing him? Because Slinky's is, on his way back to lane, and if, that is very unfortunate. Is Peanaholic getting a very good cancellation there, but now you have to overextend to push this lane, otherwise you have an amazing freeze for Hakim, and we're gonna see potentially the Zac on his first gank pretty early on, trying to get on top of this Yorick very soon.
Early Lucidity Boots, chosen by Hug Life over something like the Balmy Cinder that costs about the same. Gonna have that much more ability haste, flying in, potentially with that elastic slingshot. Could look towards the top side, but nothing doing just yet. Slinky's playing it just passive enough to not get that gank received. Instead, going to be Hug Life headed down towards his Raptors after already taking his Krugs on the second time of asking. Double crab for Soul Reaver. A little bit of a surprise, bearing in mind what's going on across the rift, especially in bot lane, where it looks like TurnUp and Revan have the push right now, but Hug Life just giving that one up, instead taking that tempo base, giving Soul Reaver a little bit something else to play around, as it looks like he's going towards perhaps a Dusk and Dawn first.
Yeah, it's interesting, the Lucidity Boots. I mean, first of all, the Lucidity Boots, I think the Balmy Cinder would be much more useful here. It's going to help your clear as well as everything else. I think the Elastic Slingshot is what he should be leveling up, unless things have changed on the Zac jungle. So I guess we'll see. The fight's going to start out in the
Yeah, they're not sure who's fighting who just yet, but we're going to work things out. TurnUp Tom finally going to get some chakrams flying, using the turret as well to his advantage. Reverend Storm the one that's forced away first, and the hook is nice. TurnUp Tom forced to go into his barrier, and he's just going to fall first. That's the second blood of the game going over to, unfortunately, the Nautilus. The second kill goes to the Yanara instead. Now the elastic sling shot is just way too late from Hug Life. The hook connects again. This is beautiful from Wayne, and now it is just a Zac in his poor little slime form. Frisky gets a double kill. Humongous play in the bot lane. Costs 3 summoners, but they'll take the 3 kills all day.
Yeah, and a 4-0 start, you know, it doesn't get much better than that, right? Maybe Tekio could have killed the Pinaholic on his Galio, but yeah, Frisky hits that, you know, the 8 stacks on the Q, and then we just see how strong Yunara is once she gets that on there. And like you said, they were just, you know, throwing the damage at everybody. Like, both of the supports were kind of singling out the ADC of the other team, and it just kind of worked out a little bit better. There was a couple more minions on the side of Forest Giants there to do a little bit more damage to the Alistar, who's cut out just too far away from TurnUp Tom to be able to, you know, follow up damage. And then Wayne on the Nautilus, I love the fact that he goes in, flashes, and secures that kill. Just because you never want to see
Slinky's trying to 2v1 here.
Yeah.
It feels like he's trying to 2v1 right now. This is bold, this is aggressive. We'll see if it works out. He's going to ignite onto Hug Life very early on. Unfortunately, he has to turn himself back around as the wall is nice to catch a Team the Dream slack in. Big damage don't go both ways. Actually going to go into the Grim Deliverance. That's the word I'm looking for. Gets the GA procced at the very least, as that's going to be a Tekio turning up to the top side. Just getting over the wall in time there is Hug Life, but it feels like this one here a matter of time for Tekio. Will go a 1-for-1. Giving over a kill to a Team Dream, as I say, got that GA courtesy of at least landing the ultimate. Forced to flash out Slinky as well there. I think a positive play finally for the TurnUp squad, but I wonder if it's already a bit too late.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate for the side of TurnUp squad, because if Pinaholic had roamed up just like half a second earlier, they might have been able to be in range to stop Tekio from getting that kill, and that would have been a huge turnaround for the side of Forest Giants, but just a little bit too far away, wasn't quick enough on the roam. So, you know, you do end up having a death. The Bomby Cinders is purchased now by the Zac, so they are going to go for that in lieu of the Leandry's build that we sometimes see these AP tanks go first item on. So,
we do love playing Mimir, right? As it is indeed scrapping in the mid lane. Tekio in and out of the Shroud, but still able to get into his stealth just in time to avoid the worst of that damage. It is also Pinaholic, double Mole Magic Mantle to start this lane off. Yeah, clearly showing his hand pretty early on, but I don't think he's going to care because his top side is doing a thing. A Team the Dream going 1-for-1, trading out his jungler for the top lane of his life, but he's going to turn it into a second. And that is Soul Reaver also falling down, as we're going to go back to bot lane because apparently we're fighting across the whole rift at the same time. TurnUp Tom trying his absolute best. Chakrams flying all over the place, but it feels like he is nowhere near the amount of fight power that they have at the side of this Nautilus and the Yanara. Instead, could be Frisky picking up a 3rd kill of the game. Already put himself way on the road to greatness as he just keeps on pressing forward, keeps on advancing towards a Blade of the Ruined King first.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to start favoring the Yanara the further in that it goes. The W does not end up stopping TurnUp Tom. And yeah, it just seems like they can't really get what they want out of this. I don't know if the Cull was the purchase that you should have made this time. I know last match it kind of worked out on the Caitlyn because they were so far ahead and it didn't matter, but now you've given 3 kills over to this Yunara. You're kind of stuck with an item that gives you 5 AD and 3 health per hit, and it's just not really working out for you, but Frisky might be caught here. Does have the barrier,
very
but no
aggressive,
flash.
I have to say. To push this wave in as Frisky, it was a bold decision, and we'll see if it does come back to bite brother, as he had no ultimate to get that dash, no flash, and he's just going to have to take the death. Doesn't even bother with the barrier, knows that he was all sorts of dead, ends up just taking that death. Taking it upright, standing forward, and unfortunately, doesn't really matter how you take a death when you take a death. Soul Reaver on the top side, realizing his bot lane was just way too far forward, ends up trading an objective at the very least.
I still think it counts because the next fight that they have, which will probably be within 30 seconds if this game keeps continuing the way this series has gone. You are going to have the barrier, right? And, you stack the lethal tempo. You have the barrier. Flash will be up as well. So we'll see as an Ignite is up
You
in the
said
top
something
lane.
about fighting once more. As a Grim Deliverance is going to land, Slinky's down to 100, trying to get the Rats to do most of his work for him. But unfortunately, he's going to need more than just those. He's going to get the TP from her teammate, but that TP takes absolutely years, and it gets cancelled too by the flash of Pinaholic. It takes the worst trade for it, but if it comes at the cost of your top laner getting the kill, I don't really think you care. And that's Team Dream, who, by the way, already had a Ravenous Hydra in his back pocket now, insanely strong in the top lane, as he is going to be lifestealing all over the place. Feels like he is really the redeeming factor for his team right now.
Oh yeah, that 2v1 that he had on Soul Reaver, or the 2v2 that turned into double kill for him was absolutely huge. And now, yeah, Tekio kind of caught on the wrong side.
Shenanigans walking over here as he's like ships in the night. They go right past each other. The Shroud Puff is going to force the Ghost at least from Redeem the Dream, and that will be that.
Yeah, it could be worse, I guess, right? Yeah, but yeah, you're right. He is the huge shining moment, or shining spot on this team now, as Hug Life trying to get their bot lane into this game. The Dragon is here. If you lose this fight and it goes like 3 the other way, and you lose the Dragon, like this is massive. So this could be a huge tempo and forced turnaround in this game here. So both of these teams looking forward as
Okay, we missed the hook onto a minion, but we're going to go with the ultimate anyway. In a 3 versus 2 situation. This is how we throw leads in the bot lane, folks. Unfortunately, just way too aggressive. Wayne using the Ignite as well as a barrier from Frisky was also used. No flashes in the exchange, but double kill instead over to TurnUp Tom, and that is a massive gold swing in the bot lane.
Yeah, you're right. They're basically paying Turnips back, for what Turnip did to them in game 1. Is they're throwing their lead.
Are we committing on this? Perfect execution used already. R1 used there by Tekio, going to get rooted up by the Aphelios, dashing forward that R2. And now the Elastic Slingshot comes through, and it's a 4 versus 2. We're still committing further forward. Sky Splitter is nice to get the shutdown on the Aphelios, but Tekio is not long for this well. Finally going to be taken out eventually by the Balmy Cinder of all things. The Volibear should have a pre-escape path down towards the bot lane as it goes 1-for-1 after the fact. Does at least get the barrier out of TurnUp Tom there, but I'm surprised they even went for it, but I guess it's worth if Tekio now has a Hextech Gunblade.
Yeah, kind of worth it. You do stop the Dragon. I think that was like the main point of what you wanted to do with the original fight there. So, Soul Reaver getting the shutdown is pretty big. Dusk and Dawn completed now.
Nice hook. Hold on. Pinaholic caught out once more. Spectre's Cowl on Merc Treads means that the Nautilus does basically no damage to him. And the Volibear with the Dusk and Dawn does a little bit less than a lot, but not much more than not much.
No, and it does seem like Turnip is... Even though they kind of like won out the better of that, and your bot laner is now caught up, if not ahead of theirs, thanks to the cull, I guess.
Hey,
you can be
it came back.
later run, yeah. You do have the Storm Surge into the Blade of the Rune King, but yes.
Elastic Slingshot top side is a nice wall, going to stop Hug Life's gank from really working, but the rat baits him out. He's going to get hit with the Q2 because of it. Has to flash away as a result, and unfortunately, that's a little bit deep from Hug Life. Going to get ignited up. The Team of the Dream still trying to dive the turret, has the GA passive. Surely if he gets the Grim Deliverance, even if he ends up dying, it'll be fine. He doesn't even get the passive, but he's still able to survive. Insane survivability on the Zahen right now, as unfortunately Wayne unable to respond to the bot side, missing that hook by a millimeter.
Yeah, and good cross-map play by the Volibear. Soul Reaver able to go and grab the Dragon on the other side, while his bot lane is sort of like pushing in, trying to get what they can as, TurnUp Tom. Out
we were just saying something about him being safe and not dying to a hook. Unfortunately, he listened, and he wanted to prove me wrong. Gets caught by the hook, has to flash away instead.
Yeah, yep, and we're starting to see now where this mid lane is just kind of going the way of this Galio automatically. No matter what Tekio is landing here, it's just kind of not enough, and so now we're starting to see where the only target kind of left for Tekio is going to be maybe the Zahen, if they're low, and TurnUp Tom on this Aphelios. So not looking good for the side of Forest Giants. I think that they've gotten a little bit of a turnaround here in the bot lane, but not much else.
Oof, millimeter wide again on the hook as another E just goes seconds late from Pinaholic. It feels like we're playing a game of insanely small proportions right now. A couple of seconds here or there, a couple of extra range could change this whole dynamic right now. TurnUp Tom able to push out this bot wave though, with everything being as it is. Instead, able to try and equalize the CS diff that had started to form earlier on. Just 4 down now, doing a pretty good job of precise that. Pinaholic though, not doing a good job of escaping turret range. He tanks 3 turret shots for some reason. Atekio says, thank you very much, I'll take the free kill. As we get back down to bot lane, and Wayne's also dead.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he meant to do, but a good job with the perfect execution to get onto the other side and force him to knock you up with the Bomby Cinder too. So now a little bit of a fight here.
I mean, this is mean in bot lane. This feels like it's completely just unplayable as the Inara there. You can't really be under that turret anymore. Unfortunately, when Revan has the ultimate, his will is indeed unbreakable, and that is just a free turret dive every single day of the week, twice on Saturdays, as we've seen throughout this series. Back into mid we go from Pinaholic as we go back up to the top for Team the Dream after his little excursion down to mid lane. Didn't do all too much. Has a 2-level lead on his top opponent, though. He's going to go Grim Deliverance once more to get himself over the wall. Goes hopping over, and that is Slinky. He's getting chunked down incredibly low. A couple more autos will do precisely what a team was wanting, and the Maiden does not do much. Gets widowed before he even killed the wife in the first place.
Yeah, this is kind of unfortunate for Slinkies. They did have the very good level 1 play, and then just kind of got screwed on their own wave state, right? Like we talked about it, where Zan actually came back, and then the Zac was there, able to just kind of like pressure and keep that the freeze going. And since then, like Hakeem the Dream has not looked back. Like they've just been completely running over Slinkies in this top lane now. 601 or 610 with the Ravenous Hydra does end up having a little bit of the,
I think he has Death Dance on base. That's my conspiracy theory for this game, because it feels like he has taken ages to get towards that second map. Where he has to steal Sigils. We're going to get a heroic entrance into the mid lane from Pine, doing an amazing job peeling for his Alistair, who's down at half HP. No Unbreakable this time around though. That definitely required, as he will get out to safety. 4th plate going to be taken on mid, as they're going to look to push even further, guarantee themselves that mid tier 1 turret TP in from a team that does precisely that. And that will be the gold lead now securely in the hands of the TurnUp squad. But that hook is nice from Wayne to try and pull Pinaholic back in. Instead, he lands the shot over the wall, and Frisky MMO barely able to escape. Just got around the minions so that the Q wouldn't quite connect.
Barely is the operative word there. If they didn't poop their pants right there, then I don't know what scares you, because that was so close. The elastic just barely connecting or not connecting there. That was going to be a dead Yunara, and then probably a tier 2 turned into a Rift Herald. But unfortunate for the Forest Giants, TurnUp squad has to turn around. But we're starting to see the fruits of this composition now. I think the only thing that really saved Tekio there was the fact that they were in the Shroud and Aphelios couldn't auto-attack them. But they just take so much damage and are completely out of the fights, as now they're caught on the wrong side of the map here as well.
I mean, even in this type of situation, if he can kill her team, then maybe we're talking a different story. Flash away from the Grim Deliverance, perfect execution back through. Tekio with the hands there, and 1,000 gold shutdown suddenly changed the dynamics of things. If he can take out this guy in this type of situation, I mean, what are we talking about here? This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. 2 levels down, basically half an item down. I know that the Death Stance wasn't there yet, but that's absolutely huge. And Tekio, now you say, okay, you just go into the side lane and match wherever Hakeem goes. And now the Zahen is in a losing matchup. I don't think that Galio into Yorick is very fun, as we're going to get another fight here over, as both teams trying to position for Dragon, while Slinkies tries to get this top lane.
Yeah, he's going to try. But shouldn't be able to get it for the time being. But split push now, definitely much more potent when he's not into that Zahen, right? When the lanes get swapped, really feels like that is when Forest Giants are starting to pop off. They've had an amazing mid-game here, and they're able to change those ones around. But unfortunate for him, as just going to have to disengage this time.
Yeah, and I think that this is the call here, right? Like, you got to get Tekio into the side lane to match the Zahen. And if you're on the side of Turnips, you need to bait this Akali in. You need to keep Galio somewhere around the mid, or at least in hover range, to where you can protect him. And as soon as the Akali pops perfect execution, you just pop in there with the grand entrance, and then you join your buddy and turn this fight around. Because otherwise, we saw what just happened there. Like, that Akali is, for 1, hard to hit and kill, and 2, dishes out a ton of damage up against the Death Stance. It's gonna, prolong some of the damage, but probably not enough.
Yeah, I mean, even if it does, right? It just means that the damage isn't quite dealt as instantly as perhaps it would have been, as Tekio proving that he can take on that Zahen in the side lane, as we saw. They're to keep those lane matchups going, right? They're to keep the Akali into the Zahen and the Yorick into the Galio. I think we're having a really good game stay here for Forest Giants, but as things are, not able to do quite that, as Tekio instead has to take this rough lane into the Gallows to get 4-4 happening on top side instead here, around the Baron pit, 20 minutes on the clock. The Baron's barely even spawned, and I think they're fighting more of a blue buff than any potential control. They're still going to claim it, as it is going to be the massive fight of bot lane. Tekio again winning things out. This is... I'm surprised at this, how strong the Kali is, especially when they don't even have the second item yet. Storm Surge, not quite there. And yet Pineaholic forced to flash away. Perfect execution, absolutely demolishing.
Yeah, no, surprised is an understatement here, right? Like, we were both talking about, like, Tekio into these 3 tanks, and it's like, they're killing they should have killed the Zahen, like, easily. And then now we just saw him be able to take out the Galio. I don't know if that's just a byproduct of Galio going down there and just, like, taking out some of the minions using his skills and then being caught with their pants down or with their cooldowns down, you know? But that shouldn't happen at this stage of the game. You know, you have the Hollow Radiance, you have the Haunting guys, you know, packed up. Maybe you have the Merc Treads, which are upgraded now, so you get the automatic shield whenever she shows up. So Pineaholic kind of on the back foot here, as Tekio, much like game 1, it's taking a little bit longer, but it does look like they're starting to just kind of take over here, as every time they see her in the lane, Zahen backs and goes to the other side.
Yeah, and I mean that's what TurnUp squad need to be doing, right? They need to be keeping those lane assignments as they have been for the start of this game, because I mean the Galio, I guess, dealt with the Akali a little bit better in the fact that they didn't die, but had to use the flash. I feel like if Tekio had a flash, then maybe talking a different story entirely. Of course, when you're in that kind of isolated 1v1, your ultimate can't do anything as Pineaholic. You need teammates around you to either get yourself out of dodge or to get yourself in to that kind of danger. So Reaper on the bot side, though, has to be very careful. Taking his Krogs right now, does not realize the Mega Blast Code courtesy of Chemtech Rift is bringing a Zahen and an Alistar straight into his realm. Gonna try his absolute best to just put out a ton of damage. He's second to get the wall from his Yorick, but that might not be enough. He goes insane on the healing. Doesn't even have a Spirit Visage right now. Just all pure damage to get all that healing back. With Onigam doing its work as Trump, though, TurnUp rather, sorry, doing absolutely everything in terms of the damage required for his team. Wayne forced onto the retreat. Frisky and his support, the final 2 alive. Triple kill for the Zahen already. Pineaholic is going to get taken down by that tier 2 turret, but a 5-for-2 on the ace. Potentially 5-for-3, but Zach just about going to survive. And I mean, we were talking about this before, right? When the fights start happening, this red side comp really comes to life.
Yeah, it does, and unfortunately for both of them, they kind of got caught. Like Soul Reaver caught a little bit early, didn't have the ultimate yet to kind of get out of dodge really quickly. Great engage using the blast cone over to kind of catch him unaware, and then by the time that the fight started, and or by the time the fight had already begun, you have a third health of Volibear. Does a good job of getting out of there. I actually thought he was going to live, but he went back in to try to get another bite and just lost his life over it. But yeah, it just good job by them. And yeah, the comp is doing what the comp does. And you had both of those members kind of stuck inside the baby cage from Skittles, but with only a Triforce and the Executioner's Calling, there's just not enough sustained damage coming out of this Yorick as of yet. He's 153. Not feeling very good right now.
He is 1 item 2-3 as well, if he's in this type of top lane matchup. Hateem is absolutely crushing after what was a very even game 1, where it felt like top lane was somewhat dictated by how much the jungle role showed up, and Soul Reaver definitely doing his absolute best to make sure Slinky's could do what he wanted. Got him that advantage on the Jax. In the jungle, I've been mixing up my team comps, I'll be honest. They got the advantage at any rate for the Forest Giants, but it didn't really feel like it was top, right? It felt like it was that jungle mid duo. This time around, I mean, we've seen Tekio pull off some insane shenanigans, but it just doesn't feel like quite the same level of shenanigans as possible as maybe a 10-0 and 9 Xerath can pull off.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And one-on-one, I think the Tekio over sustain time or overtime will out-sustain and out-damage and be able to actually kill anyone, including this Alistar with ult. But in the concept of a team fight, there's just no way, as now Hakeem coming over.
They have swap sides. The team has to work out here. What does he fancy? Does he fancy killing the wife, or does he fancy killing the main man himself? Going to get the bone plating to start this one off. Is going to go a massive top fight in the top side, and instead the 4v4 on the bot side, maybe even more interesting. Red and white in the Aphelios, as TurnUp Tom is getting all the peel possible to survive this one, and they're not going to go just 1-for-1 to start things off. Gets the enemy support, but he goes down to the perfect execution courtesy of Teku. We also have to flash for that play as the team gets the kill on the top side too. He can TP in if he wants to. He's going to do precisely that onto the cannon minion in the mid lane. And while that's even happening, Soul Reaver taken out on the backside of the fight. Last two alive are the mid lane and the bot. As Fresky, the one with actual HP, going to try and clear the wave as best he can. But the Drake likely to go over to the TurnUp squad side. And that was kind of the one thing that was going in Forest Giants' favor, right? Surprisingly and quite quietly, they had managed to get a 3 Drake to 0 lead. Unfortunately, now that will likely be the Soul being denied this time around, and next time it's going to be a little more difficult again.
Yeah, it will, especially if this top lane matchup keeps going this way. I almost would have liked to have seen just a rush of the Hullbreaker after this Triforce from the York, or the old sustain York, where you get the Ravenous Hydra yourself and then turn that into the Triforce afterwards. It doesn't seem like
The Camille
like
base.
Slinkies is it just doesn't seem like Slinkies is able to stick with this. The Q is not healing enough.
Is it really 4-1 in items? I'm sorry to cut you off again.
Yeah, no, yes,
I just looked at it and I'm starting to feel a little bit bad. I'm getting flashbacks to when I play top lane.
in any given solo queue lane, this is what it looks like when I'm there too. I'm with you, dude. Yeah, like a 70 CS difference, a 10
That does
kill
not feel like a
difference.
3 item difference.
Well, 10 kills is a lot of
I mean,
kills.
10 kills is 10 kills, but like...
Plus, I think he got a shutdown early on as well onto
true.
the Yunara, so it's just, it is not good for the side of Forest Giants. I mean, if they can stall this out and they can turtle and turn this into at least a 38-39 minute game, maybe there's an avenue for them to get back in. When the Yorick is able to, sneeze on the turrets and drop them, when he gets at least 3 items completed and can maybe duel the Zion long enough for a teleport to matter. But at the same time, Tekio is going to become a lot less useful during that time as well, given that everybody's going to get a little bit tankier and being able to deal with this Akali as well. So, tall task for the Forest Giants here. I think it potentially doable, but it's going to be extremely difficult for them to kind of stop this here. If you are the TurnUp squad, you're thinking, what can we do, here to get to a game 3 is now.
Right, is it Ignite? Hold on, maybe we could do something like this. Grim Deliverance already used by a team. That's his main ability to either stack up on his passive or get out of town. Already used, has the Ghost Well already popped. Double W, getting pull them back in. Maybe he just looks to turn one around because he's popped his passive. He has double the AD that he normally does. And Slinkies does absolutely nothing. He just tickled the back of his neck and said, hello friend, I'm trying to kill you, but I really just can't right now. Instead I need the whole of the rest of my team to come over while you guys are doing the Baron. And even then, I still need my Yunara to pop her ulti and dash away from you because you are that absolutely terrifying, and still gets the kill with a Bluetooth auto. Oh no, the depth charge comes in, calls the Volleybird down of all people. Now the Baron is definitely not stealable. They just about get the kill on the Zahan, but it literally took all 5 members and he still got 2 kills. This guy is beyond what he is in the lore.
Yeah, that is absolutely good. Once the kill goes through and the Death Stance just recharges all that health along with the Spirit Visage, like, insane. Like, that is so much sustain on that champion. It looked like they were trying to give that kill over to the Yunara, thought he was going to go down quicker, but he is extremely tanky. He has 2 full tank items, 1 half tank item, in the Death Stance, so great job from him.
Insane damage, bro.
Guaranteed that he was able to, guaranteeing his team to be able to get that dragon, and now they're doing what they're supposed to do, cleaning up all the resources on the map that they can, denying Soul Reaver the opportunity to get back into this game, and he's about to be level 19 soon, and Yorick is staring at, I just turned 16, what do I do here? So, big plays from our team. Yeah.
At least he can drive. That's positive, right? Slinky's finally got his permit,
into the
and he's
wall.
Yeah, he is. He can work out where the side lane is now, potentially. Feels like it might just be a little bit too late though, for him to really have that impact that we wanted to see early on. Does have the Black Cleaver finally in his possession, but as you say, it's feeling a little bit too little. and a little bit too late for the Yorick right now. Still trying to work things out though, as Final Holic is going to find Wayne in the middle of the jungle, going to send some Winds of War at him, and then realise there is absolutely no point to this. I'm going to back off.
Yeah, and I think maybe Yunara is the win con here, and she can get
3 items
some damage here. But yeah, that's the problem as well. You have 4 items on the Aphelios, 3 items on the Yunara. You have 5 items almost on.
Okay, we're just sending it under the tier 3 turret. Frisky, Jesus Christ! The Infernum ulti courtesy of TurnUp absolutely obliterates him, barely even hangs on through the barrier, surviving with about 50 HP, I reckon. That was incredible amount of damage from an Aphelios that we feel like we haven't really had to mention this game. Nothing really focusing on the bot side instead, everything really focusing on top instead. You know, credit where credit is due. Her team is now level 20, 4 levels up on his lane opponent. He's putting in an absolute performance right now, and he could be looking to go even more as well. Half HP courtesy of the Maiden slowly chipping him away, but that will slowly fall down, and the Yorick will get angry that he is now a Widow person. I'm going to look up back to the top side instead, as TurnUp top is technically engaged on right now. We'll see if that matters though, as he does have the red gun to go cycling through, all the 3 auto attacks in the world, and somehow Pine still managing to survive. Maybe not for too much longer. Oh my god, no, that's insane. The E back to get the instant knock up into the Taunt, and Tekio is absolutely hand stiff this time by Pineholic. Feels like we've been saying it the other way around the whole series, but I mean, Pine's mechanics are absolutely insane to pull that on there off. Spins the fight back around in his favour. That's 2 kills already going down. Next is turret number 1, the first to fall on the top side. Another 2-man talk for Pineholic. He's teaming back in with full HP, and this one is now officially a formality. TurnUp going to get knocked up by the depth charge. Frisky, the last one alive, going to get taunted, going to get murdered under his Nexus. And that is going to be game 2 going over to the TurnUp squad as we head over to game number 3 in what has been a very back and forth series.
I mean, lock in, right? We got exactly what they needed to do this game. Reset the tempo, reset the feeling behind this, as well as because after game 1, like, if you weren't defeated, out of that one, then you have a chance. And they came out here, they picked a comp that was way better suited to their styles. The Pineholic on the Galio was way better than the Mel. I know he kind of got countered, and it wasn't really his fault. He was like 0-1, and the Xerath had like 9 kills. But in this game, we got to see what he was able to do when giving a champion that can kind of do what Tekio did in game 1, which is add a global presence, add a lot of tankiness and agency to the rest of his team. And like you said, Tinker Tom, like, we didn't even really say his name too much, but he outdamaged almost everybody except for the Yorick on the other team. And, between him and Yunara, it always felt like Yunara was pulling out a little bit better than him. But with the way that Hatim, obviously, I mean, that's the story of this game, right? Like, level 20 on the Zahin, 13-3-1. After making a mistake level 1, never looked back, never died, in a solo outside of, I guess, the Tekio one. So just great job by him to just be a complete menace this game and completely put this entire team on his back and carry this. And now you're going into game 3. A lot of the champions that people like to play are off the board. It is Fearless, so you're gonna test those champion pools and see if Forest Giants can bounce back, or if the TurnUp squad can press this tempo that they just gained off of this and finish the job.
Yeah, I feel like it's exactly that, right? It is the champion pools getting tested from both of these sides right now. You get deep into these series, I think it's going to get worse as things goes on, right? This is just the best of 3. Looking into best of 5s coming through eventually, yeah. But I mean, even now, right? This is the kind of phase that the deep waters that I don't think either team has really gotten to all throughout their league phase. I believe at least one team I saw was 4-6 through their 10 total games in 5 series. That's either 2-0 wins or 2-0 losses. Like, they haven't been to game 3s before. Neither of these teams, really.
Well, and I guess this is where we're going to see it, right? You have the 20 bans from Fearless, and these guys have been going after each other's jungles for the most part here. So I guess we'll see how deep those pools are. We're going to see the Kindred and the Iverns, or we're going to see like these off-the-wall kind of jungle picks that we don't normally get to see, especially in draft leagues, because those kind of champions take a lot of coordination and everything, or are we gonna let up on this? We're gonna get the jungle B1 prio pick that they want. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we do still have some strong ones, like you have the Wukong, you have Sejuani or a Mumu on there as well. So I know we'll see as we get into this. But while we do, we'll keep that predict. Rue just put a prediction into the chat, so we're going to see if that's what happens. But don't go anywhere. We got a banger of a series going on right now. It is 1-1, and winner stays in, loser goes home. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Welcome everyone back to game number 3 of the series between TurnUp Squad and the Forest Giants. We switch sides once more. Forest Giants back onto red as they were in game 1, which seems to be the fruitful side so far in the series. And we're already through the first rotation of bans, as well as a couple of picks already going over. We got the Wukong taken first, countered by Java Misfortune, and TurnUp Squad taking on the Corki as well.
Yeah, they're making it very difficult for this Jarvan, at least early on, to really do too much. And there's another champion. It's going to be hard to lock down, right? This Cataclysm is going to come out. You have the W from the Wukong and the Corki. You have the ultimate from the Ahri. So it's going to be hard for them to sort of like lock down, get the MF ult, to come over the top of it. So I guess we're going to see what they end up doing. I would like to see at least one of these bot laners take an Enchanter as their support. I feel like this... I guess especially on the blue side, has not really gone too like it's been just like the Braum Leona, it's been Nautilus, and now we're gonna get a Rel over for the side of here. So they are going for this, MF ultimate kind of composition here.
The Wombo.
Yeah, so we'll see if it ends up working. I guess the only other other thing that they could do is maybe an Orianna in the mid lane for Tekio and just have a ball delivery system. So we'll see if TurnUp want to ban that out.
Yep, not happening. Instantly denied. Forest Giants not allowed that much of a wombo, but they still have other opportunities to do precisely that if that is what they want. Honestly, I mean, you typically want to take your mid on R4 here, right? So you have your top counter pick. You already see the mid. You already have that counter pick there if you want it. But I'm not against holding back if you want to just blind something like an Ornn and then hold on to whatever you got going. Or you can take away the Ornn from yourself.
Yes,
that also works because the wombo wasn't fun enough already, right? Like, who wants an Ornn horn?
I feel like this is kind of what they were going for, right? Like a all in, press the R and go. But I guess they
get
really
rid of
don't
two
wanna
R champions.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with the Ornn in the top lane or the Maokai in the support lane. So, because Maokai does do a pretty good job against Rel. I mean, I kind of feel like he does a good job against any engage heavy support. Sorry, you're not gonna get it. That was the one that you wanted there.
I think there was a chance, but I think it's a good ban, right? Especially bearing in mind Forest Giants' tendencies, both their jungler and their mid lane love playing Diana. That's why we've seen the Echo as well, perm ban this series. It's a massive hit on both of them. So I think, especially in the context of this type of comp, getting rid of that massive team fight ult makes a lot of sense. Instead, let's go for a different circle. We got the circle comp. I love circles.
I actually don't hate this, right? Aurora is very good at dealing with, a lot of the mid laners. I feel like Ahri is probably one of her tougher matchups, just given the fact that, she has so much range that she can also answer with. But in the event that you get a little bit ahead, Aurora is going to smack so hard. You get caught in between worlds, and just everybody is just kind of locked into this. They really are going all in on this, MF over the top bullet time in composition, and I'm here for it. I love it. I like the Thresh pick. That's another just get out of jail free card that they have. There's so much mobility and disengage from the side of TurnUps here. They're doing a good job of answering basically everything that Giants are throwing at them here.
Yeah, they're doing their best to try and get out of this one, but it feels like it's a trap that's just slowly closing in on them. Renekton going to be the 5th pick for the TurnUps. Going to take that one blind, of course, into the top side. Forest Giants now, they have the opportunity to do whatever they want, right? If they have a Gnar in their back pocket, this is an amazing Gnar angle. I don't know if Slinkies has that within him.
Gonna go for another.
He hasn't really revealed much of his champ pool, I'll be honest. The Gragas, I'm not as big of a fan of the Gragas in this type of situation. I feel like he can sometimes work against what you want instead of working for it, right? The explosive cast, I mean, if you get it at the right angle, then sure, right? But now you're adding a layer of difficulty to a comp that was very easy to execute on before.
Yeah, you are. I mean, to be fair, it does work very well into the Wukong. Wukong does struggle into AP compositions
Renekton.
sometimes. Very good into Renekton, can sustain with him, can stop a lot of what he wants to do. You know, he pops the Dominus, tries to slice and dice in there, and just like ends up, you know, eating a cask and going backwards. And it's like, okay, well that didn't work. Can disengage for himself. Can also work very well with the Jarvan. Too. So a lot of CC on the side of Forest Giants, able to kind of set up this MF. But that's where that's where this comp is gonna shine, right? You're gonna have the objectives that you want to fight over, and you're gonna have the Jarvan. Hopefully, you're gonna have everybody there in position, ready to go. And then between worlds, the Rel ult, Jarvan dropping the Cataclysm, and then you have the Gragas to sort of get into the back line and disrupt the ADCs or whoever is trying to hit from afar, and also use all of that as a that you can use offensively. You can use it defensively as well to try to protect your MF from the Thresh, from the Renekton or the Ahri jumping in.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of ways to try and protect people from jumping in, right? I think Thresh is definitely one of those options. The Flay going to be somewhat useful in that type of situation, but I think personally, I'd have preferred something like the Nami potentially. Works very well with the Corki. You then have that kind of double CC ability with the wave and then the bubble. Or suggestion from Twitch chat as well. I respect it from Toad. I think Poppy also a pretty good shout here, but a little more dangerous perhaps in the lane.
Yeah, and Poppy was banned last game. I'm surprised it wasn't this time. I think that as soon as one team banned it, the Rakan was like the automatic ban next. So both of these supports probably trying to go for that angle, but just couldn't get it. I said before, I kind of want an enchanter, especially with the Corki or the MF. I love an enchanter with it when I'm playing MF, just because it gives me that automatic sustain. I can itemize
Rel
a little
is
bit
fun
more.
though.
Yeah, I can itemize a little more offensively, but yes, Rel is absolutely fun, especially if you secure a couple kills for yourself early on. You become like super tanky like right away. Like you're just able to do so much. And yeah, I think both of these comps kind of answer each other very well. Forest, I laid out everything that's good about theirs, and then TurnUp squads on the same token, like they have a lot of kill pressure, they have a lot of poke, they have a lot of engage and ability to maybe get out of stuff as well between the Thresh Lantern and then all of the dashes that they have, can work wonders for them. They have their own brand of knockups and CC chains with the Ahri Charm, the Wukong ult, and everything that they want to use to get into that. So this should be a very, very interesting and fun game 3. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of these champions in the first 2 games leading into this.
Yeah, well, they managed to sneak their way through. We'll see how they perform in game number 3 when we're ready for it on the Rift. We're back in a couple of minutes when it's ready. Welcome back, everyone, to the third and the final game of the night. Currently 1-1, of course, in our best of 3 wildcard round. Win this effectively best of 1 at this point, and you go through. Happy days. You lose it, and unfortunately that is your season over and done with in March. Not really what either of these teams want, but it's the reality that one of these two teams has to go up against should they lose this massive, massive matchup. They move now into this early lane phase. Teams know the stakes much more than we even do. They know what they need to do to get to the promised land of the proper upper bracket playoffs. We'll see if they can execute on that, though. And speaking of execution, a lot what we're talking about between the draft and the game is how easy or perhaps not these two comps are to actually execute.
Yeah, it seems like with this Gragas pick, it's kind of like the opposite of what your comp wants to do. It's more of a spread them out where everything else in their composition kind of screams keep them in. I don't know how much like the between worlds will end up affecting the casket or the cask.
Bomba.
Sorry,
You can call it Bomba.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Jesus. So, like, I don't know how that's gonna interact with it. If it does, kind of add a little bit of extra damage and slow to it. But yeah, it doesn't seem to fit as well into this composition that Forest Giants have up to this point. But we'll see. Ease of execution, I think, at this point is totally on the TurnUp side. You have the Renekton go in. You have all the dash follow-ups that come along with it, with the Wukong, with the Ahri ult. Corki can even as well. And I guess
this is aggressive. Wayne, your MF is not here, by the way. Your MF is basing because they lost both summoners.
That was extremely weird.
First Blood!
Yeah, I was kind of like, wait. I was like looking like, where is this MF right now? But we missed what happened on the back end of that. I guess
she basically based already. That's what she was under the tier 1, holding B, running back to her spawn. I don't get why we're trying that one, Wayne. I'll be honest. I don't see that as a positive play. Even if you get First Blood, you're still dying next. Your ADC's already had to take a base. I guess that's slightly better than what happened, but that's the best case scenario.
Yeah, maybe the thought process there is I can kill this Corki and get them set behind. A lot of the minions were kind of like crashing at the time. Maybe that was the thought and the play, kill the Corki, give the kill over to the Thresh, and then play from there. But now, you have your Jarvan down here, and I don't even know if they're really going to be able to do too much with this. But Ravenstorm is separated from TurnUp Tom, and we are going to see if they can catch him out here.
Yeah, going to try to do precisely that. Instead, they're going to turn up onto the top side. Going to look for the Thresh. Nice death sentence connecting there onto Wayne, but nothing much doing. Just down half HP onto Wayne as he may have to look for another base this time, though, by pressing B instead of by just dying. As that is a Raptor respawn. Hello!
Yeah,
tasty.
That is so fortunate for Hug Life on this Wukong. We haven't seen too... Oh. Okay.
Can I have a second? Please.
Yes, go for
are we not even taking the Raptors? What's going on here? Tekio managing to deny Raptors by himself.
Yeah, that's insane. Maybe they didn't know where Soul Reaver was and thought maybe he was coming, but yeah, you got to take the Raptors. You still have Smite. You just take it and go. What I was going to say prior to that is, like, we haven't seen this a lot in this series, but everywhere else we see a lot of huge jungle gaps created just by the CS difference. Like, you lose, we saw Soul Reaver go down to the bot side. If he gets those Raptors stolen from him and then Wukong is able to do a full clear on top of that, that's a level, right? Like you're gonna, at the next fight, be a level difference over, and then just extend that. The amount of benefits that they give you is... That's good. That's something like Shia LaBeouf that over there. But yeah, the amount of resources and stats that you get, from counter jungling and getting a CS lead in this jungle is absolutely huge this season. And that was kind of like the first time that we were really going to see it early on in a game. And it's kind of
second Raptors, man.
Yeah,
those things are powerful. Like, the second Raptors are most junglers' wet dreams. They're way too strong to just be given up so easily, but instead, Hug Life, he still has a tempo advantage, right? We're not concerned about that. He still has tempo advantage, still has bot advantage as well, with a big push coming through. Going to allow him to rotate itself up to the Drake. Nice and early. Only 30 seconds since it spawned. Already looking to fall down. Wayne unable to contest this one. This is not the Red of old who used to run a smite. Instead, this is Wayne crashing down onto a pit that already has the Drake fallen. Unfortunately, though, Hug Life has not chosen to flash this time, has instead chosen to just take that death. So second blood goes against him as Soul Reaver looking to go onto Ravenstorm, but without level 6. Can't send the Cataclysm forwards, and Ravenstorm's going to get out safely.
Yeah, no, it was a really good job by the Thresh to sit there and create the peel. The Between Worlds was just a little bit too late on the from Tekio, but does manage to get a kill for themselves. So you do trade a kill for the Dragon, and you get a little bit of prio in your bot lane here. But you are missing out on that first objective, and now it kind of seems like with this like little mini freeze they have in the bot side here, it does seem like things are kind of going TurnUp's way here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that continues, though, because I feel like you just said something, and then we've instantly had to see Pineaholic just ult away from the mid gank, as Soul Reaver has turned up, though maybe back against him, flash away, and he's still looking to go forwards as Pineaholic.
Oh.
Okay, I'll
yeah, he tried to flash away from the Aurora damage, but it just caught him on the back end there. I think that might have been the Electrocute snap on the backside from that auto attack that actually did him in there. But almost fancy footwork there from Pineaholic to get that kill on the Jarvan. This is twice now in this game that we have seen where champions think they have it, but they don't. And now, speaking of top lane getting attacked here.
Yeah, we'll just keep on going because these guys do keep on going. Looks like Slinky's able to escape there with the explosive cast use. There's another amazing death sentence. Once more from Ravenstorm. This time has a lantern as well to get his Corki flying on in there. As I got scared for a second, I heard that Corki going a little bit longer than I thought it should. It was making a whole ton of noise, but TurnUp Tom not proccing the bug just yet.
We never see bot lane again, right? We get that. It is one of the most annoying audio bugs in this game. Is probably
how long has that existed?
As far as I think since the rework, right? Like since they reworked him, and the
I
Gatling
think it's
gun
longer.
Got the new.
I believe it to be longer. As that's another death sentence. He cannot miss right now. Wayne gonna detank the full brunt of this one. Valkyrie forward. Flash is not able to escape from that auto attack. TurnUp Tom tanking 2 touchdowns instead of 1. Instead of taking the lantern or just walking up to the left-hand side. Still going to be absolutely fine, though, as Frisky does get down here pretty quick. Can look to go for a play without the flash. Can't really make anything stick. Instead, just going to get death sentence once more. And Ravenstorm is absolutely dominating the lane right now. Even throws down a box for reasons that I'm sure that he understands. The box completely mitigated because Frisky did the thing where you walk around it. And Between Wells is going to be a guaranteed kill. Tekio picks that one up for free and is now trying to dodge his way back out to safety. Bullet time. Gets dodged out instead by Hug Life as the flash forward from Tekio is something into a Valkyrie and TurnUp. Tommy's going to get at least one on the way out the door. Might not be out the door either because apparently this Corki has 0 damage right now. What the? Where is his damage? This Corki left his guns at home.
Yeah, caught up in a Tear of the Goddess and all he had at that point was a Phage. So he does end up getting the Sheet now, so he's going to have a little bit of a decent power spike here. But
okay, I think he missed 2 auto attacks and a rocket. And don't ask me how you miss auto attacks. I don't know either. I don't know what's happening. We're just fighting over everything right now. Fighting over mid-wave, Cataclysm, and another Spirit Rush rather used as well. As that's a solo bolo in the top side from a flash body bump, courtesy of Slinkies against the Renekton, showing why Gragas is a very strong counter pick in the lane. In what can otherwise be a very difficult matchup, as Ravenstorm looking for a lantern play again. Unfortunately breaks the tether, so the Corki can't get up here. He might looking for the solo kill instead. The Flag and Drag just about going to get Soul Reaver out to safety. What is happening right now, and how is Tekio 5 kills?
Well, Tekio has 5 kills because they just keep showing up to fights that are completely over, and
that was nice.
Just clean up aisle 7ing. Yeah, Hatim still actually had Dominus there, ready to pop it, and they.
I don't think we're done.
No,
I think we're carrying on. For some reason, these fights just keep on going and make it 6. Because Tekio is already just teaching us how to count, honestly, at this point in the game. Already a Lunan's Companion and Spork Shoes in the mid lane come minute 10. Looking to go between worlds once more. Nice charm from Binaholic, going to send him packing for the time being. Going to stop that play in its tracks. But what do you do against this Aurora right now?
Not much. You avoid it. You send your RE wherever they go, and you just try to shove waves, and then you concede objectives until you can kind of catch back up and get some catches somewhere else. Yeah, Dominus was available on that, Renekton on that top play, so Slinky's really got away with one there. As now they're
yeah, he's not going to be allowed to get away with that one there too easily, as Renekton gets angry, slaps him in the face a good bit. Landing the body bump there, another barrel connects. And this Gragas really starting to chunk as well, as I am trying to work out what he's building first. Is that... it's going to be Aurora, isn't it? That's where we're going. Yeah, it's Aurora. Okay. Yeah. With that, as it's going to be second Drake taken already. 11 minutes in, these Drakes are going down like lightning, and Wayne has decided that 1 versus 2 is the right angle for him. Good distraction at the very least. If he can hang on to the blast code as well, could be making the escape of the sentry. Death Sentence over the wall, going to make sure that he is out of there. So another situation where we go 1 kill for the Drake. This time, it's going to be the Forest Giants making that sacrifice. Yeah,
and good overall, I think. You do want to get these dragons. You don't want, a 11-minute 2 dragon stack there. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if that was miscommunication or if that was Wayne saying, "Hey, I got you guys. I'm just gonna die here." Kind of go for it. Is now Slinky's a little bit caught out, but is going to end up seeing the Wukong and is going to be able to get out of here if they want to. But yeah, you don't want that to just be a free dragon for TurnUp. You need to keep this momentum that you've built around this Aurora, and you need to just keep going. And this is the point of the game where you need to get, like, these grubs should go the way of, or the Rift should go the way of Forest Giants just because of this Aurora, right? So, like, everything at this point needs to go their way, and they need to create a numbers advantage, or at least create even numbers, which is an advantage. We're going to get 2 more fights here for you.
Yeah, I mean, 2 fights at the same time, right? What's the first thing you learn about playing League of Legends where you get to talk with your teammates? Is you don't make 2 plays at the same time. You make 1 play at one time, so you can coordinate it properly, and then you deal with the counterplay if and when it comes. Trying to look for 2 things at once doesn't always work out. They're going to abandon the top play instead, look for the bot play with a lot more committed, because Tekio has roamed down here from mid, finally spotted on the tri-brush ward, and he turns up instead, just going between worlds. Now it's going to be a very, very dead-looking Thresh. TurnUp Tom forced to just walk away up towards the top side, as the explosive cast going to force her team the Dream in towards Slinky, who doesn't quite have the follow-up just yet. The Dominus going to be enough to keep that Renekton alive for the time being.
Yeah, this Gragas is just doing work on Renekton. I mean, Renekton does have the CS advantage, so if they can catch up in kills here...
I point out he again doesn't have Flash, though, and now he's caught out on the wrong side of the Rift. I am shocked their team in all 3 games has gone Ghost. I mean, if it works out this time, then fair play, but Slinky's does have Flash advantage to try and get the kill, because Flash is better than Ghost. You heard it here first, folks. Slinky's with a hands death, courtesy of the ability to teleport, compared to run a little bit faster.
I'm so sad that the camera panned away from that because I wanted to see how Slinky's gets that kill, because I thought that you were about to eat your words as soon as you said it. That Flash is better than Ghost, but
you look like, isn't it?
it's better than Ghost, because even having your Flash on cooldown, it was not enough for Ghost to make up for it. So, yeah, this seems a little, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like they are pressing very, very hard on both teams here. We just see so much overcommitment to plays that are either bad or trying to make up for what just happened kind of bad. And it seems like the Forest Giants are obviously getting the better out of these 2.
Frisky, getting a little bit too frisky in his own right. Death Sentence next instead onto a Sport and Wayne, able to crash down over the box. He doesn't even get tagged out by it, and able to escape this time around. He's already taken 3 deaths, courtesy of trying to save his team members. The only player on his team with a single death is him, and he has all 3 of them as of yet. Tekio on the other side of things, more than making up for those 3 deaths, with 7 kills of his own, as it looks like Wayne wants to make it 4, because that Ari is going to get a freebie if he's not very careful. Spirit Rush literally seconds off cooldown, and still Pineapple able to escape for now the time being. Still not going to get dashed on. That will be the kill. Going back over. Another nice charm as well. This is a massive shutdown to get it onto Tekio. One more dash would have done it. Didn't have it instead. Has to get the kill over to Hug Life instead. Already used the Cyclone. Now Solary is effectively 1 versus 3. Make that 1 versus 4 because Tom has turned up too. He wants the shutdown, but unfortunately the Wukong steals it away. And Hug Life gets a massive gold injection in the jungle.
That was a great play from Pineaholic there to be able to maneuver around both of them like that and get not just the 1 kill, but then the follow-up kill and a huge shutdown on Tekio going over to this Wukong here. So great play from them to get themselves back in this game, right? Like now this is kind of like one of those things where you're like, okay, so the Dark Seal was purchased, but it's not going to turn into a Magi's right now, right? It's gonna, kind of get stifled there in its growth. You do end up winning the fight on the top side there. So if you are Forest Giants, like you are, like okay, like Gragas is still creating a ton of pressure here and is just beating the crap out of this Renekton as this fight goes on. And ult for ult, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, another Dominus pops in the top side. Is going to be Slinky's making sure that it is an ult for ult, using the explosive cast to get himself some distance. As we're going to go back down to the pot side as well. Pineaholic spotted by the Banana Brush player. Solary is in the area. Can be the Skull Crab instead, likely first.
Yeah, I mean, Aurora did die, but she is still really strong. She's almost got the...
Okay, double TPs out of base from both top laners. We're just going to go sending it before they even arrive. Here comes the Renekton. The MF ult is humongous. The bullet time is landing onto absolutely everyone. The double kill goes over to Tekio because of course it does. A 9th for him already in just 16 minutes. And this fight is so massively in the Forest Giants' favor because the group up was just a little bit too condensed. The Cataclysm kept them in check. And Frisky just kept on firing. The bullets kept on flying. And that's a guaranteed team fight win for the Giants.
Yeah, the Rel and the Jarvan sitting inside that Cataclysm made it virtually impossible for them to grab that Lantern. So both of those team members, just kind of sitting there, just sitting ducks inside of that, like fish in a barrel, I guess is probably a better analogy. But
you can use many analogies if you want.
Yeah.
You can go as many as you want.
We'll be here all night. Good fight, and nobody being able to interrupt that MF ult while, Renekton teleports in and just soaks up basically the entire bullet time. I think it was like maybe 2 waves prior to him actually spawning in. So hitting 3-4 members of it and then having them sit inside the Cataclysm while it's over the top. And then, of course, that just allows Tekio to just, 1 Q hits, 3 members and it's completely over. So great fight by the Forest Giants. You have the Storm Surge now completed. Does look like they're going for the Shadow Flame next on this Aurora, potentially.
I would expect so. Though
Yeah.
I have to say, I wasn't looking at that build as much as potentially the Misfortune. Frisky indexing into some lethality, not just the Yomus. I mean, if this is Collector into crit, then I guess I'm here for it, but if this is full lethality, I don't think I've seen that since like 2023.
It does a lot of damage. What did we say the win condition of this comp is, right? It's the
Press the buttons.
Press the buttons, and so
don't walk up by yourself midway. Is that a win con? Because it feels like that should be a win con. Frisky barely able to escape for the time being. Tombo going to snipe him with a big one, as that will be the shutdown going over to him. A second kill goes over courtesy of a slice and a dice, and then the Wukong takes it down. The third kill going to go over because Wayne is unfortunately a noble sacrifice. The 5th death in the game for him is 9 now put on the board by the TurnUp squad, and not walking through the bush that you're not allowed to walk through might be you might need to add that to the win con.
Yeah, that was just very TurnUp Tom of game 1-ish, right? Like where your team's they have an idea of what they want to do, and you're just like, I'm fighting over mid prio. Why? I don't know. So just a weird positioning, malfeasance, I guess we'll say, from Frisky on that one. Unfortunate, that ends up being their first death. I think that was another shutdown that they end up giving there as well. So very unfortunate for the Forest Giants there for that to happen. It just kind of cascaded into a lot of just negative effects, and then series of unfortunate events follow. And that's kind of how you end up throwing leads, right? And so now instead of it being 6-13 and you guys just getting Rift Herald, it's 9-13 and you guys just lost your tier 1 mid.
Yep. But they do still have the Rift Herald, and they can use it around the third Drake that they would be getting in a couple minutes' time, if they do so want to. It'll be 22 minutes for a fourth Drake in the total game. These Drakes have not had a very long lifespan. I feel like I'm watching some premium Smolder gameplay right now, I'll be honest. It's just death upon death for these Dragons, as unfortunately neither team seems to want them to live for all too long. I guess it makes sense, though, with the amount of stats, that permanent buff that it gives, the scaling that they require in the game. As we have a massive play occurring on the bot side. 3v3 in the Brewing right now as Tekio trying to get out of dodge, but that's an amazing blind hook courtesy of the death sentence. Unfortunately, it's not going to do much for TurnUp Tom, who got a little bit abandoned by the rest of his teammates, and still Tekio able to survive because Ari ran out of charges at just the wrong time, trying to flash over the wall and get that final charge going, but it was not to be. Instead, the 3 versus 3 turns into a 3v5, and then it turns into a 3-4-0. And that is a humongous play going in for the Forest.
It is, and it kind of stifles everything else you wanted to do, right? Like, you have Renekton pushing the top lane, you have Wukong stealing CS in the jungle, which is huge, and then, you know, potentially pressuring that mid wave, and then now you just lost 3 members, and you just gave Tekio a couple more kills, and you burnt a lot of summoners in the process.
Kills that time. He's still on 9. I think the kills instead went to Frisky. Is that better or worse?
I mean, 2 of them went to Frisky at least, right? Because he was 117, so... Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, 2 of the kills going over to Frisky
is that better or worse?
I think that might be an Axiom mark for him too, so that's going to be huge.
With Duck, Axiom marks out of the other one.
I wanted
he is Collector.
Yeah, I wanted the Brutalizer. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Not quite the same thing, same way around, unfortunately, but I like the idea. But
no, but this is still going to be huge every time that ultimate comes out.
Absolutely.
Now, when people get down to 5% health, they could start blowing up pretty quickly, especially since you're going to have a lot of pre damage coming out from the Aurora as you start these up too. So
he does have a third item.
Yeah, definitely pretty scary. Yeah. This is not good for the side of the turnips here. They really need to
There is the Rift Herald, drop for the Drake that has just spawned in the bot side river, as it is wont to do. Nice flame, going to mean that Wayne has no real way into this fight, so the Between Worlds going to try and kick this one off, and massive damage onto both the Wukong and his clone, but unfortunately the commit onto the clone means the Hug Life still getting a whole lot of work done, while Frisky MMO survives by the skin of his teeth. Barely able to hang on. Finally, the Renekton turns up, and the Rel is absolutely nowhere to be seen. Tekio trying to hang on as best he can, but he's already taken out by the Corki, and somehow there's actually a winning fight for the TurnUp squad. It feels like without that Rel engaged, the Flay was absolutely perfect, and now they have no real damage, no real CC to follow up on us. Oh no, I don't want to watch that again. TurnUp Tom just tanking the turret for too long. He tests my alliteration, and Slinky's the one that gets the kill.
Slinky's with the cast, pushing him into the turret, just absolutely. And, like,
he wins
I think he's going to get that.
Waits for the shield to go from the Spore Titan. Death Sentence, not really living up to that name this time around. Finally gets the Renekton to turn up, and with him nearby, he no longer wins those. But that should still be Drake.
Yeah, 891 gold over to the Renekton as well, so that's massive. But yeah, I'm surprised that turned around the way that it did. But I think that the bullet time coming up.
We're fighting again. Sorry to cut you off. We're just doing this all over now, as Pineaholic is dead because you walked into MF Rel, who didn't even bother ulting. They just kind of killed you.
Yeah, that's right. It's not your fault. I think both of these teams don't want any analysis this game.
No, they don't.
So they just want to fight.
No, don't analyze this. Just fight. Just fight to the death repeatedly, because that's what entertainment is. The Romans knew it best. That's exactly what they did. We carry this on into the modern day, but now we start fighting over the Rift instead of fighting in the Colosseum. And, I mean, this may as well be the damn Colosseum at this point, because it's a 4v5 that we're flipping around with Draco. This is not solved for either team, folks, but yet we're still playing a 4v5 for a Drake. Slinky's going to make it properly a 4v5 by TPing in to the fight. The Drake has gone over, finally, to the TurnUp squad, but this is absolute death for all 4 remaining members. The only question is, can they get any kills on the way out the door? Looks like the answer to that question is an emphatic yes. A double kill for Tom, trying to make it 3. I was going to say no, but apparently he managed to get both bot and support and make it not the worst play possible, but still I reckon Baron on the horizon, unless that happens, unless Pineaholic decides that Java no longer exists. He does precisely that, and that should stop the Baron from being a possibility.
Absolutely. An emphatic yeah. That was so good. Good job staying on your toes there. Turn up, Tom. That might have saved the game there, right? Like
I think it has.
You lose your other 3 members inside of just a bad follow-up team fight. You used a lot to to get that dragon, and then unfortunate for you, I guess.
Are we
And
doing this
then
again?
you turn that into a 2 2 kills for your ADC. Does end up getting the new Hex Optic.
Yeah. I should have a
item,
look at that, because
which-
that's not common on the Corki. I mean, it's useful, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it's not common. A lot more of the time you see something like the IE or the Collector to try and get that guaranteed damage, and then you build into the Shredder item, the Armor Pen, whichever you fancy, either getting rid of some of their resists, or getting rid of some of their healing, whichever tickles your fancy that time round. But Tom instead going for the more range damage. I mean, it worked out pretty well if that's what got him from that fight.
Yeah, which is interesting because we usually see that on champions like Caitlyn, right? Who their auto attacks, they want to stay away all the time. The Gatling gun, I think, has like, what, a 400 range on it? 450?
I will check that one.
You potentially are kind of cucking yourself out of, a little bit of potential to that 10% damage, but it is an overall, if you're at max range, 10% damage on your auto attack, so, and then passive maybe 3 to 5%. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening out of it. Interesting buy, but
Okay,
they
you're not
probably
going to
know
believe
better
this?
than I do.
Corki apparently has 690 range.
On the
Isn't that
Gatling gun?
crazy? On the Gatling gun. That feels absolutely
fight.
insane. I'm not sure I believe it, I'll be honest. As Slinky's not going to believe how much fun he's going to have in the bot lane. Nice close cast to force the team to go popping a Dominus into his face. Already using the big W before he gets the rage means that the stun is not long enough, and Slinky's will be able to win this one out eventually. As soon as that Dominus falls off at the very least, but Color Meek and Slice and Dice going to get him out dodge for now.
That is a ton of damage into a Spirit Visage. Merc Treads Renekton with full stacks of Conqueror. Wow, this Gragas was a good pick. Slinky's is playing it to perfection, and it's a lot of fun to watch here. Is now Wayne.
This was a choice. He's out.
Wayne's in the
It's
chat
fine.
again.
It's fine. He didn't die this time.
Extremely fortunate he did not die there, because there was absolutely no reason for him to. But yeah, this is kind of what this game has been, just like random camera pan shots to a fight that's about to start. So why change
there
it
are
now?
39 kills. It's been bad for pacifists all over the place. Mahatma Gandhi would not be happy with this game.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't even know who's winning this one right now. Right? Like, outside of
I'm going to say
Tekio?
Tekio. But Pineholic able to dodge both of the Q and the E. Means that he doesn't take maximum damage from that trade. Going to just go for the instant base off the Spirit Rush.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, blue warded, and that's not allowed. Electrocute now pop. Storm Surge
Yep.
going to make sure that this one is all but over. The auto attack for some style points. Tekio, though, he's already ticked over to level 16. That is a freebie in the top side. Still a minute away from a Drake. And by the way, neither team's soul already. It feels like latest soul we're going to get in the series by quite a long shot. But unfortunately, the worm in the top side does still exist.
Yeah, I don't... that had to... Ooh,
just
they're going to start up the parent. Hell yeah. I guess you look at it were they looking at the shop? That was just kind of like weird for that to happen there now.
Yeah, this feels like almost a bait baron, because in both senses, this is like trying to bait the enemy team in and also baiting your team into taking 1,000 damage for free. And unfortunately, Wayne is going to be, once again, the sacrificial lamb. He's doing his absolute best. He's still not in line! Okay. Finally he dies, but it costs the flash and the cyclone of the Wukong. Death Sentence goes behind to land onto Tekio, but unfortunately for everyone involved, that doesn't really count for all too much. Pineholic going to turn back up, but it's to no avail. Again, no Spirit Rush. Actually, no, he does have Spirit Rush, because that thing has a 3-second cooldown. My bad.
Yeah. With the Malignance, yeah, Ari does kind of get a lot of use out of it. But yeah, that's just... they almost won that, right? Like they almost actually took that. So that was a really bad Baron call from Forest Giants. But overall, it turns into a 1-for-2 or a 2-for-1, I guess, depending on your perspective, and you get yourself a dragon. So overall, not a bad play. Good turn up for the Giants on the back side of that. So didn't lose too much. and did a good job of disengaging and then re-engaging where they needed to. I will say this, that Revenstorm has been a monster on this Thresh. It seems like every death sentence that he lands is on a priority target or to stopping a target from getting away. It just doesn't seem like they're having the... Oh, go again.
Are you getting deja vu? Because I'm getting deja vu. This time, though, I guess Pyroholic is just going to sacrifice himself to the turret. He's going to call Worth in all chat on that one, but we all know what saying Worth in all chat means. It means that you just died.
Yes. And not in good fashion. He did have the Spirit Rush was back up again, and now you're not going to have an Ahri here, but you also aren't going to have a Between Worlds, and you did get a little bit of global gold.
No TP though on the Ahri.
So, yeah,
and I think no TP means that this Baron is incredibly difficult to contest as the TurnUp squad down 5k and total gold. And Tekio going to use the Blast Cone, making sure that Hateem rather has no way into the pit. 6k onto the Baron, as they are still looking for this one. Hug Life on the far side, they could have just burst this one down if they wanted to. Instead, they're going to sell the rail forwards by herself. Cyclone onto the backline is humongous from Hug Life. Frisky knocked up as all three of them getting popped in the air. And this 4v5 has somehow worked to absolute perfection. It's been discoordinated, it's been discombobulated from the Forest Giants, and the 4v5 is a 4-0. It's just Slinky's left alive against a Baron and a team that really wants to take a Baron. It's difficult to hang on to this, but he's going to try an absolute best. Blue Ward spots him as he goes flying over the pit, spots out everyone, takes the aggro of the enemy team instead of the enemy Baron, which I guess is a positive in his case. Charmed up though on the front side, but the only player that has any HP to his name, since Pineholic was the one that respawned and has turned back around. Down to about 8k left on the Baron, as we're still carrying on this fight. This guy does not take any damage, folks. The explosive cast is going to one-shot the jungler, and now the whole situation's in jeopardy. A second kill goes onto the ADC, and the phase rush means that he's lightning quick. He looks for the third, he gets it onto the Thresh, but he can't quite get the fourth because our team has TB'd back in with a massive shield to benefit himself. But because of everyone turning off of the Baron rather, it's fallen by the wayside, and it's a 1 versus 4 masterclass.
If you look up hero in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Slinkies on Gragas. That was absolutely insane. That play was completely dead, and they should have gotten the Baron off the back of that, but he said absolutely not. Went in there between the Cosmic Drive and the Spirit Rush, and like that is so fast, and just walking up, taking all of that damage from the Ahri, just like... Wow, what a play from...
This blue buff, please don't reset again. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh, did it reset on him?
It reset on him once. If it reset a second time, I was going to start talking.
Yeah, Slinky's... That is a massive play that potentially does save the game. Like, if they win this game, it's because of that play from him.
100%.
If they lose, then, team diff. But, yeah, that was absolutely insane. And, like, this Gragas pick, I know we didn't like it during draft. I freaking love it now. He has completely proven both of us wrong. We both didn't like it, didn't think that it worked. It works when you play it like this, though.
Yeah, I think it doesn't necessarily have to fit in with the typical synergies of your comp if you're going to be forming shenanigans like this on the minutely basis, as it seems to be the case. 14 KP for him in the top side is no mean feat in a game where, I guess KP isn't too difficult to come by, but as a top laner, it always is, right? Slinky's doing an amazing job. Also, only 2 deaths. The least in the server by a decent shot. Everyone else on his team in the lanes rather on 3. Everyone else in the rest of the game overall at a minimum of 5. A whole lot of dying in this one, as we don't talk about support. That's what they're meant to do.
Right, and especially Wayne, because it's always
that's
his
a
life
5-level lead in the lane. You cannot be serious. Okay, it's level 16 now. Pineholic. He finally has the 3rd upgrade in his ultimate, but like. Are we seriously fighting this right now? Gragas into Ahri? Level 20 versus level 16, there's no way.
I kind of appreciate this from Pineholic.
Your next has no TP, he kind of has to.
Yeah, especially for the simple fact that they are also holding it off of the turret, right? So like if that gets under turret, Gragas is probably going to be able to just smack the turret and turn that one around and maybe even kill you under it. Whereas fighting it where they were, it's a little bit more risky, but the fact that they lived through it is good, as we're going to get a teleport and a potential flank coming in here.
Ooh, so close on the flag and drag. Her team barely slicing his way out to safety that time around, as the Drake is going to be spawning again. Hextech Soul will be going the way of the Forest Drag if they can get this fourth and final Drake, as Pinaholic is sending it through the portal into the backline. Wayne is again a sacrifice performed to the gods by the looks of things, as it's going to be between worlds that's going to delete Hug Life from the face of said world, as it's going to be Thresh trying to tank up everything, and that's why we didn't like the Gragas with a misfortune. Saves the Thresh's life by knocking right the way out of the bullet time. As I said, the Corki walks too far forwards and just ends up getting obliterated by a disgustingly fed Aurora. Another kill goes over onto Revan Storm, who used all of his summoners and unfortunately had nothing else to say. Slinky's going to go flying forwards, and that's why you don't go flying forwards into a Renekton. The E just not quite long enough for Tekio to get that kill, as another use of the W is going to keep Tekio in his place for the time being. Frisky getting dangerous with it. They're finally going to claim the Hextech Soul. It took them a while. The Flag Drag of the Wall finally get rid of our team, the Dream. And now it's Pinaholic left all alone.
Ooh.
E is enough. The Storm Surge is nice, but the kill back will at least slow down the game. And I don't think they're going to be able to end. And I don't think a Baron just yet either. We might be going even longer, folks.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think that kind of saves, you know, at least an inhibitor, if not two, and it does. It saves them both because they can't really pressure that out. And, you know, I can't say enough about what Hug Life has been doing on this Wukong. He's been getting into the backline and disrupting this MF almost every single team fight since the one around Dragon, where she got, like, the full one off as Renekton was teleporting in. And, yeah, just cannot be overstated how important he has been to these fights going their way. And it just seems like every single time it looks like Forest Giants has what they want, they get the start, and then it just kind of like doesn't work out, and like somehow the TurnUps are just kind of carrying it over. And I think a lot of that does have to do with Hug Life on this Wukong just getting exactly what they need to stop this like impending damage coming from the bullet time on this MF. And yeah, it's just, they're barely winning these fights, but I think the barely part is a lot akin to Hug Life on the Wukong. So
Yeah. Well, I do wonder if that changes now, because the big difference that we get to witness is the fact there's a Hextech Soul that has been claimed for the Forest Giants. They're looking to use it now to their advantage. Next fight should be that little bit easier, especially if they're able to get some poke off early on, because, I mean, that's something their champions are actually pretty good at, right? Surprisingly good at. Something like a Gragas can poke from quite a distance, proc that Hextech Soul repeatedly. Tekio can look to do precisely the same thing on the Aurora from max range. Just proc the Hextech Soul, slow them down. Use the extra ability that you gave yourself as well. The attack speed can be very nice on a lethality misfortune to keep her firing in the fights. As Tekio needs to be careful where he's walking up, but that's half of the HP of the Renekton already taken out. The Storm Surge going to do a little tick extra. As they're just going to keep on fighting it in that side lane. This time around, it's the other mid and the other top that are going to be in the weak side of the map in that 1v1, because they're the ones with TP.
yeah, and even the misfortune with the bullet, with the Make It Rain can proc it on top of the Soreldias. Like, that's a huge amount of slow. It's one of my favorite pairings is Soreldias on Misfortune. With that is another Death Sentence.
Death Sentence connecting, but I'm not sure I actually wanted to hit that one, as Soul Reaver is the one that's going to send things first. Crash now doesn't quite land, and instead it's going to be the Magnet Storm onto the clone first of all. Hug Life taking away those, I feel like 3 ultimates are used just to kill him there. That might be enough to turn things around, but unfortunately, TurnUp Tom is the one that's going to be bearing the brunt of this one. Does delete Wade from the face of planet Earth, but unfortunately, that is going to be the only kill going the way of the TurnUp squad. Everyone else just unable to really connect onto Frisky, especially without that Wukong, as you've been saying. Their Mischief Maker unable to have any more tricks up his sleeve. The Warrior falls by the wayside, and it's Pinaholic with it all to do. No Spirit Rush to his name, no Flash either to play around with. Just 3 items and a stopwatch to try and get his team back into this impossible situation. He gets one to start things off. That's a very nice way to go golden as well. Great use of the Orb of Deception to get that first kill, but he will be deleted in his own right under that turret. Soul Reaver popping that Sterex Gauge to make sure he gets himself a shield. And that is going to be the series. Done and dealt with. In a really anticlimactic mid-fight.
It was a little bit, but that was extremely hard fought by both of these teams. I mean, if you're the TurnUp squad, you got to walk away with your head held high after that one. Like, it was so back and forth. This entire series was so chaotic, so much just random piss fighting all over the place. Like, I like it, but at the same time, you know, it is a lot. but yeah, I mean, I feel like this game could have gone either way for both of these teams. I feel like the amount of comebacks and then throws and then change of tempo and who was winning, who wasn't winning. At some point, it was like 30 to 20 kills, and like I'd even mentioned, like we don't even know who's winning this game right now. Like any team fight can go either way. A lot of great plays, and then I think. For this one especially, Slinky's on this Greg is absolutely insane. That Baron save where he went 1v4 and killed 3 of the members, wow, that just like plays like that are the kind of stuff that like that's going to carry on, and people are going to realize that now instead of getting something else banned, you're going to get this Gragas banned, right? Because he just performed so well on it. So kudos to him and kudos to the rest of this team. Tekio, that was a pleasure to watch. The Xerath game and then this Aurora game was so good, so clean. And even when they made mistakes, like they didn't falter, came back and went right back at it and just kind of kept fighting. This series was a pleasure. I'm glad you guys let me fill in on this one.
Yeah, but we had a fill-in from all over the place, right? This was not your normal draft squad, I have to say, but I hope it was alright for you guys. I mean, it was pretty alright for us to watch. This was some very interesting League of Legends, to say the very least, where it felt like predictability left the chat about 15 minutes ago, maybe even longer. Absolute barn burner of a Game 3. Thank you all for joining us, as it will be Forest Giants moving forward now into that upper bracket in the quarterfinals. And unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to the TurnUp squad. Thank you, though, for joining us, as we also say goodbye for today. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Shabam.